What it do, what it do, what it do. It's your boy Big Val Opinion back with another live video. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. And most importantly, make sure you sub to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so that you be notified each and every time that your boy Big Val is going live, man. With that being said, let's get into this intro.
People to know I appreciate anybody that's helping me. I appreciate anybody that's helping me. A lot of people have been there for me. I just don't want people going back and forth being mad at each other because one person did this for me and another person did that for me. That's what the devil wants. He wants to cause confusion. That's what these people want. They want to cause confusion. And confusion ain't gonna do nothing but keep me in here. But the real thing here.
Welcome to Big Val Opinion. Moderators, with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. This channel is a negativity-free channel, drama-free channel, and we are here to push the message out. We will not be distracted. So with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. Welcome to Big Val Opinion platform.
I really appreciate that about you. Going on. I really appreciate that about you. Yeah, going on. I really appreciate that about you.
Big Val. Yes.
I really appreciate it about you. Yeah, going on. I really appreciate it about you. Yeah, going on. I really appreciate it about you.
CA dropped, I load it. Hold 26, I glide it. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. Submit cars, I got it. Metro the gate, I got it. Bust out ice, I got it. Exotic bitch, I got it. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. CA dropped, I load it. Big pressure. CA dropped, I load it. Hold 26, I glide it. I'm big pressure. I'm big.
What it do? It's Friday. And it's your boy Big Val Opinion, aka Big Country, back with another live video. I hope y'all feeling like I'm feeling, because guess what? The Lord was willing this morning. Yes, Lord. What he do?
Hey, I'm ready to jump the gate. I'm ready to jump the gate. Somebody finna be blessed. We're going to keep it a band. Thank you for these two queens coming in. That's already in here. Miss Honey, bless you. Be White. You already know what it is. It's always
yes,
love.
Lord.
Thank y'all for coming in.
V White, Miss Lady T, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Let's get it.
What's going on in the world today?
Let's get it. Yeah, I got something to say about that little clip, but that Willie D was commenting about the arrest. I'm a year back, but I know y'all waiting to hear what my comment is, because y'all already know how I feel about it.
I got it coming.
So, well, nephew, let me go. And that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, man. I hope everybody having a blessed Friday. Get in
Yes,
here.
sir.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that share button. And most importantly, make sure y'all do the free thing and then subscribe to the channel. Turn on that post notification bell so you get notified each and every time that your boy Big Vi, a.k.a. Big Country, is going live.
Lady T.
I told him, hey, Big Country is in the UK now. You hear me? Just a good old boy. You know,
That used to be my show too, boy. I used to watch that joke, boy. I like the Roscoe and Boss Hall.
Oh yeah. I'm just a good old boy.
Cletus too. But Roscoe was my dude though.
Yeah,
Roscoe
train. No dog wouldn't save nobody life.
Right. Nephew, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm blessed, man. Free R. Kelly as always. You know, stop fucking with Bill Cosby as always.
Right. Right. That part.
Let's unlock the minds of our people out here in this world who's struggling to come to grips with, hey, you are no different than Robert Sylvester Kelly. You're no different than Bill Cosby.
That's right.
You're no different than the color of your skin.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, Lord. What's going on, Julia? What's going on, Deetra? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? They want to call me country. Okay, I'll be country. See, them country boys be the ones that last in them cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
We come from a different breed. You know, we raised different. Like Levi say, they raised up top. So when you raise down bottom, you know, you got a little bit different pedigree. Your pedigree a little bit different. You know what I'm saying?
Walk with it. Walk with it.
See,
hey, my father from the country. Hey, I got an older sister that stayed out of Mississippi. She way at the bottom of Mississippi. She right off the coast.
Country boys, you get nice, respectful, mannerful. You know, they greet you with respect. You know, them country boys, they come a little different. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I'm a country boy. When I first moved to the city, when I was saying yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, people were surprised. Like,
nephew, that's why we was taught coming up in my household. You couldn't address it no other way. Until this day, I still address my mother. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I said, I moved to the city from the country. I'm saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. These people looking at me, the first thing they said, I can tell by the way you talk, you ain't from around here.
That part.
I couldn't tell because I ain't walking nowhere. They say, we can tell you ain't from around here by the way you talk. My bad, ma'am. She say, oh, you don't have to say that. Ma'am, look, I can't not say that. That's in me.
Right.
That's
That's
the
right.
way that I was brought up. That's a part
That's
of
right.
my life.
Yes, sir. That's my pillow. That's my foundation. Yes, sir.
My grandma heard me greet you and say something different, I'd probably get slapped in the damn mouth. Boy, you know I raised you better than that. Now you go back in there and apologize.
There you go. There you go. That's missing. That's missing in the fabric of our community.
See,
that's very much needed.
In them country households, you know what accountability is. You know what respect is.
Yep.
You know,
integrity, standards.
You want to walk with integrity, talk with it, live, all of that.
Yep.
Ain't no way around it.
Yep.
Lil Mac, what up?
Lil Mac, Lil Goldie, what you doing, Lil Mac?
Oh yeah. I hope everybody having a
brother Rick Ward.
What up,
blessings
Rick
to everybody, Barbara, Tanisha, everybody,
man.
man.
It's going down at the family reunion. Who we introducing? Hey. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. This is what make this platform so unique. It's because it's joyful, it's peaceful, respectful, man. Big country. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't have it no other way. You know what I'm saying? Ladies eat first. You know what I'm saying? Let the kids come. Men, you eat last.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's at the cookout though. But when it comes to the house, when supper is made, pop out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because he needed strength. Because he got to be in position in case someone try to infiltrate. You see what I'm saying, nephew? Mm-hmm. You got to keep them fortified. Come on now. Woo, I feel something pushing me, but I feel you pulling me back. I'm a yield back.
They talk about big country. What they used to say in the South, where we say, Papa, Mama say food ready.
Hey, why you think I always use the term, watch it, nephew? I'm going to say it real so you can hear. Yes, sir. See, I didn't say yes, sir. I said, yes, sir. That's Alabama right there talking, boy. That's Birmingham type of language right there. They ain't ready, nephew. They ain't ready because they ain't seen this side of me. They ain't know I had a countryside for my family. They don't, hey, somebody about to be blessed.
They sit there and call me big country, don't know what her or you don't even know where your roots come from. You would have made it to the city if it wasn't for the fucking country. If it wasn't for the country, you would have never made it to the city. Do you feel me? Now I'm from the bottom.
Lil Mac, come on up in here, Lil Mac. When nephew turned that part over about that keepy interview, all that crap, you already know how I'm feeling. I'm not gonna reveal. That's what I'm saying. I'll just tell you like this: I'm not going. I ain't going. I'm a year back. Lil Mac, get out of that chat and get your butt on this platform.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm finna play. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this Bun Jean lawsuit.
Oh yeah,
we got Cook County, Chicago. Yeah. I'm gonna start with that.
Okay.
But we done said something on this platform before. I'm here to tell y'all right now. Y'all heard it here. I ain't gonna say y'all heard it here first because I'm not greedy like that. It's enough for everybody to eat. But y'all heard it here. P. Diddy will be the next major superstar to go down.
Oh, he going down.
P. Diddy will be the next major superstar to go down. They lining it up right now. I'm going to play it for y'all in just a minute. What up, DVYY? Oh, yeah. What up, Jeff? Oh, yeah, we finna go there. As y'all see on the screen, Jennifer Bun Jean, City of Chicago, hit with five more federal lawsuits against disgraced former detective Renato Gavario in his Area 5 frame up crew. Man, this shit right here is crazy. But we finna go there.
Yes, sir. we got JT on the panel. Man, that's what we need, boy, to help us walk through this legal
We
stuff,
finna go
boy.
there.
Yes,
Let's get this out the way real quick.
Finish doing my greeting to the panel before we get started with nephew. Blessings to you, Crux. Always a blessing and an honor, man, for you to grace the platform, man. Lil
oh
Mac,
man, it's my pleasure.
yes, sir. I'm gonna yield back 'cause, I'm ready to jump the gate, boy. When we get started and get down to the core, you know how we do.
Likewise.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to say happy Friday, peace and blessings to all my brothers on the panel, Big Vi, Brother Muse, Lil Mac, everybody in the chat, peace and blessings, and happy Friday. This weekend, it's finna be up there. We're gonna have a good time on this show and get
Yes,
y'all prepared to enjoy y'all weekend with some substantive conversation and just having a good time. So I appreciate all you brothers and everybody that's here tuning in.
yes, sir.
Likewise, my brother. Hey, I just want to say this real quick before you get started, Big Vi.
All right.
Man, don't worry about what them people say, man. About being big country, you know everything best down south, right? I'm from the south too, so anybody from up north that disrespect the south, just remember those were your roots. Your family migrated to come from the south to come to the north or to the west
Right.
to the midwest. So you can't disrespect the south. So if you do it, you're disrespecting yourself.
That's right. That's right. That's what my family did. Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
they call me big country and they moved to a city and they still enslaved mentality.
Right.
So what that tell you? You missed them up.
See, that's the thing about it. Like, I feel like that's big about. That's why me and you connect so more with Jeff and Uncle Muse because the people from Midwest up there, Chicago, Detroit, and Ohio. I got family in Toledo. They got those southern roots, those southern styles about themselves, they southern ways. And I feel like that's why we relate to them. You get what I'm saying, Big Bob?
Oh yeah, man. Unc got Mississippi all through him.
Yeah.
Unc said all the time, Jeff, man, what you think those people from Mississippi migrated to?
Right.
They stopped in Ohio. They stopped in Ohio, and they migrated from Ohio because the Ford plants and shit. They came to Detroit and Columbus.
Right.
Columbus and Detroit was the fucking mega industrial where the biggest plants was running back during that time. And when Ohio was the first one to like have a recession or whatever, and people left from Ohio and they kept going north. That's how they ended up in Chicago. Then they sooner or later they came from Detroit and they migrated to Chicago, Milwaukee, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Minnesota. You'll go back and look at how like I was surprised to see black people live in Minnesota. Not to when I started doing research, come to find out that blacks were always in Minnesota, up north in those northern states when they got their freedom to go wherever they wanted to go. That's where our ancestors had to go to because they abolished slavery in the South in 1864, whatever, but it was still going on. Right.
Yep. That's correct.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we didn't ever come back south no more. So guess what they kept doing? They kept migrating further north. You see where the Indians were most of the Indian reservations at. Right. It's a lot of them in the north. It's a lot of them in Minnesota. Most of the casinos that you know about, they on Indian reservation.
Ain't that something? Isn't that something?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we're going to get this day started. But guess what? We're finna have a party. And any bullshit in the chat will be blocked.
That's like that.
My block tank is full.
Yes, sir. Boot your butt up out of here.
Out of here. Okay, let's go. Let's go with this article right here that we got on here with Jennifer Bunjean. This audio is recorded. It's computer recorded. So when I start the video, Make sure y'all listening. Make sure y'all paying attention. I'll play it back twice. And let y'all hear what Jennifer Bunjean has going on right now. She's applying major pressure, and Dana J exposed what's going on in Chicago with Kim Fox right now. Shout out to Nisimo, also sent me a link where it comes to find out that Kim Fox is behind these BOP officers in Illinois being able to commit crimes against inmates and get away with slaps on the wrist. This woman, Kim Fox, I'm telling you, if this woman don't probably get life in prison when it all said and done, man, I don't know what's somebody gonna end up taking her out, man. I'm just saying, this woman is involved in so much corruption in Illinois. It's ridiculous. From 2020 all the way up until now. Telling y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Thank you, Darlene, so much. If you haven't copped your Big Vibe Opinion t-shirt, man, what you waiting for? What you waiting for? Let's get it.
Jennifer at bonjeanlaw.com. Ashley Cohen, 516-987-4700. Ashley at bonjeanlaw.com. Bonjean Law Group, PLLC. City of Chicago hit with 5 more federal lawsuits against disgraced former detective Reynaldo Guevara and his Area 5 frame-up crew. Press conference to be held by exonerees and their attorneys. Date: Friday, September 29, 2023. Time: 3:45 p.m. 230 South Dearborn Street. Chicago. Location: Federal Plaza at Chicago. On September 29, 2023, the Bonjean Law Group filed 5 new federal civil rights lawsuits against the City of Chicago and disgraced Area 5 police detectives Reynaldo Guevara, Anthony Wojcik, and other members of the notorious frame-up crew. Exonerees Carlos Andino, Jeremiah Kane, Nelson Gonzalez, Roosevelt Miles, and Fabian Santiago were all targeted and framed for murders they did not commit. Collectively, they spent over 130 years wrongly incarcerated. No fewer than 40 men and women have had their convictions vacated after years of fighting against a criminal justice system designed to protect these corrupt officers. Sadly, the injustice against these men continues as they seek civil redress for their wrongful convictions. The City of Chicago spends millions of dollars every year defending cases on behalf of Guevara while these men suffer, often with no resources and without support from family or friends, many of whom died while these men were imprisoned. The city adamantly refuses to engage in meaningful settlement discussions to resolve the dozens of Area 5 lawsuits, preferring to spend the taxpayer money on the hefty legal bills of their cronies. We are calling on the city to change their ways and devote the resources they spend on their overpriced lawyers to the men and women who were victimized by a police department that wreaked havoc on the city for decades.
So that means to tell me, Chicago, I knew that corruption went back to the Al Capone days. But this shit, the corruption in the city of Chicago is normalized, man. And it's, like Jennifer Bunjean says, it's being upheld by the justice system, the Justice Department.
Correct.
Now, the Justice Department is put in place to protect the citizens. And the policemen are supposed to make sure that these laws, we all are governed by these laws. Whether you're a police or a regular civilian. Just because you're a police doesn't exclude you from the law.
Correct. But some don't think that way. They don't get that. Yep.
But you got corrupt polices out here and detectives framing people.
Right. The whole district, yep.
Man, you got to really think about it. Like, how does the youth end up with these assault rifles in these neighborhoods?
Man, I tried. Man, I promise, bro. I remember. It was a Scottie Pippen documentary, and Scottie Pippen was on there talking, and he was talking about when he was coming up through high school. He said, man, he said it was normal for them to be outside playing
and go in the alley and there's crates of guns just sitting
And
at the
that freight
edge of the alley.
from them freights.
Yeah, the freight trains.
He
I
said,
remember.
go ahead, Jeff. I yield back. Go ahead. Because you
Oh
from
yeah, no.
Chicago, I'm from Chicago. I let y'all have it, man.
Oh yeah, just was gonna add because I remember we used to actually hit the freight trains as kids, and this was in the 80s and 90s. But um, it wasn't. We used to find clothes, TVs, you
Them
know, gym shoes. Everything was on those freight. Like they'd stop them in the neighborhood for so long, and then
yeah.
kids would just go up there, just not just kids, but everybody. I remember one time when Wu came out, they hit the freight trains. Everybody it looked like Queens, New York. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the neighborhood was wearing Wu wear because the freight trains. It was just a thing, and then as time progressed, it was strategically done to have these freight trains with these assault rifles in it. See, when you talk about projects, that's a scientific term, right? You have a stimulus and you have a control. So what they do is they strip the resources and then they stimulate it by implementing drugs and guns
Come
in the
on,
community.
come on, Crux.
So it's a orchestrated hit in targeted communities.
There you go. So now,
Yeah,
Crux,
so
you can understand why when you hear conscious rappers, conscious artists start to address these things and these concerns, and all of a sudden, mysteriously, their career get crushed, they get a bad press, you know what I mean, to silence their voices. You follow what I'm saying?
absolutely,
I need
absolutely.
to get back to you because you're more well versed than that. So I'm gonna give my time to you.
Oh yeah, that's they want to suppress those type of artists that bring awareness to what you just said. So those are not the ones that get promoted on these major platforms. They don't get the algorithm swung in their favor. Just like with this, with this sector. Like they don't want people to become aware of the corruption that Big Vaz pointing out right now, and how they did this man, unjustly. So the algorithm is not picking up. That's why you still see the same numbers. But other sectors of YouTube, the algorithm is super high.
Right.
That's done strategically and purposely because they don't want that to be spotlighted.
Right.
But to bring it back to the corruption, just I've seen it in my lifetime, with these freight trains and what they do, it's a trap. I've even seen I've heard it was on some platform I was watching on YouTube. I forget what it was, and I think it may have been Tariq Nasheed, and he was interviewing like a racist guy, like a skinhead type dude.
Mhm.
And he said, yeah, on certain weekends, we'll go drive to the community, black community, and we'll dump off, weapons and drugs ourselves. I'm like, what?
Wow.
So it's no coincidence that you would see 15 and 16 and 17-year-olds with assault rifles in these neighborhoods. They can't afford that,
Yeah.
by year back.
There you go. There you go. So that's why when you get artists such as Mr. Kelly, who said initially, I wanted to do humanitarian songs, inspirational songs, gospel inspiring songs, you know what I mean? To dress not just merely entertainment, but just really to bring the wet because that's to his core. Why? Because I grew up in that. I grew around seeing that. And now I got gifted with this and I get to a certain level in my success and influence, then I have a duty. I'm sort of like an ambassador, if you will, to use my particular platform, my avenue but the power that beats it. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? How can we not able to see that? That is more than what meets the eye. Look at anybody in history. Donny Hathaway, Sam Cooke. You know what I mean? These all of these individuals. You see this? So that's what all of that is corruption all around it. And how they get away and how they've been getting away, the same thing they've been using is to manipulate the mind of us, to fight against us, be distracted with the foolery, have no principles that govern you so that you won't be compromised and sell out. So they got your attention all the way over to you. Hey, know what this person got all that? Why they do this and all of that? And you talking about pure corruption and utilize you to do their bidding while they just fall back and say, ha ha, look at these fools. I hear back.
Who we see? Who is that guy in the background right there?
Um,
Did we just see this guy?
is that one of the Hughes brothers?
Yes, that's the one that just put out the video, did the podcast about R. Kelly making the song "Bump and Grind."
Mm.
Mm.
He's at Tupac. Remember, Tupac had to fight. The
Yeah,
reason why
him and the brother. Yeah,
the reason why he wasn't able to get the role in minutes.
yeah. It's a little bit more complicated, but the gist of it is that what they dispute about the particular role, and they went back and forth with it, and Pac was like, okay, well, well, then explain, you know, why he became a Muslim. You know what I mean? Pac,
Mhm.
you know, and you know, and Pac was very adamant about certain roles and where he was stands to his core belief system and all of that. So we said, I don't have no problem with him coming, but joining you, but just can you just explain, why he became Islam? You know what I mean? And so it, creative difference and all back up like that. So I guess they went like around Pac's back to like, fire him, get rid of him, and did it in a roundabout way. You know what I mean? And Pac, felt that wasn't kosher the way they did. So they little scrabble and all that happened, got up, so that's pretty much the gist of it. It's a little bit more details in there, but that's pretty much the gist of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, it's like you can be gifted, you can be talented, but those powers that be, they even control these particular producers. Like, hey, man, shut up. Here's what you do. Here's how you think. Here's how you talk. This how you move. Anybody part of this label, even the proximity associated with this label, they get out of catch you. Anything before they get bad press, you don't say nothing against that. But in your core, Crux, you got standards, you got principles. Wait a minute, man, I'm a man before I'm anything. You think this is what makes me? No, I'm what makes me. But in that arena,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? So how many people some people gonna fold? Some people gonna fold, they gonna cow out, they gonna compromise, they gonna sell their souls, they gonna have no more compass, no tech, no nothing. You know what I mean? They'll sell their own mama to get it back,
Mm.
and you got others that say, man, even if it costs me my career, dude, I ain't going. That's loyalty to your core, man. You standing on your principles and your integrity, man. But it can cost you, bro. It can
Mm-hmm.
can cost you everything. And some people say, whoa, man. Hey, man, I ain't trying to have no smoke, man. But I'm going to say it like Pac said, and I'm going to yield back. I'd rather live like a man than die like a coward.
Thanks.
Because at the end of the day, Crux, all I got is my principles, man. When they take everything from me, even when they slander my name, all I got is my character, man. I ain't got nothing else. That's all I was
That's it.
born with to develop when I was born. When my mother gave birth for me, all of us. Anything I acquire is just an added bonus. But my core inside of my DNA and my soul, that's all I got. And so you telling me you want me to
That's it.
compromise and take that from me? Oh man, please, man.
Yeah,
Now
you
you're
can't
back.
put a price on that.
Yeah.
You can't put a price on your integrity. And you know, once it's compromised, see what they do is they try to throw little things at you to see if you're a G for it. Oh, let me say
There
it.
you go.
Let me say this little thing out the way to see how I react. Let me do this little funny style thing to see how I react. And if you don't check that shit in the door, they gonna
Come on.
keep going with that.
Oh,
They gonna
check it
keep
out,
going, and
check
then
it out. Check it out.
and then the next thing you know, it's gonna be a casting call at somebody's couch. And then now,
There you go.
or you know, it's gonna be something crazy, and because you didn't check it in the door. But like you said, you can't compromise your integrity for nothing. That is priceless. And if you gotta, you know, whatever,
Non-negotiable.
non-negotiable.
Period.
And if anything that you do, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything.
And amount
So
to nothing.
and amount to nothing. In an industry like that, you know, a guy like Pac was dangerous because he had the people ear and eyes, and and he stood on his square 100% and what he believed in. Whether he was right or wrong at times, he stood on what he meant, and he did not compromise himself. And people like that are feared more than anything by the powers that be.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shit, the niggas that shot me and still testify to their ass. How can I show you how I feel inside? We outlaws, motherfuckers can't kill my pride. Niggas talk a lot of shit, but that's after I'm gone.
But they feel me in the physical form.
Let it be known the truth.
Baby!
Spitting rhymes and bullets.
Because they fear me in the physical form.
Y'all know what time it is.
Crux said the one who just shot me, they still feel me. Crux that hit.
We all rebels. Step before dishonor, but I bomb on the first
Yes,
niggas.
for dishonor.
West side was the war crowd busting off pretty screaming fuck.
All y'all niggas in Swahili.
Pistols like a fresh out of jail. I ain't going back. Release me to the care of my heartless strap. Say my name 3 times.
Like Candy Man. Like an avalanche.
Learn to get high, cool, drive by. Murder my phone, can't control my nine. Hearing those of my enemies bleed. Bust ass motherfuckers tried to flee. Should be letting this jump survive. Ran up on his ass when I don't die. Cause I'm troublesome.
I knew Pac, man.
Crux, come on, Crux. I know it hit different, Crux. I know it hit different in your soul.
A lot of people like hit him up, but Troublesome, man.
Oh yeah,
ran that boy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, see, Pac wasn't no gangster.
Y'all talk. He say y'all talk shit after I'm gone because y'all feel me in the physical form.
That's it. And that's the same thing they did with Kel.
Right. I was.
What you saying, Crux?
Yeah, he was militant. That's the difference.
There you go.
Gangster is too small of a word for Pac.
There you go, Crux. There you go. People got to compete and understand that. There you go. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Tupac.
Yeah.
It was militant. understood that to the fullest. They understood that.
And this is what they really didn't want. This
Oh
what they
yeah,
really
see, they knew he. Yeah, they knew who he was before he was born. They was watching his family tree, you know. And J. Edgar Hoover put it out there. The ride and people like Pac and you know
I'm gonna check my email later.
different leaders that have that leadership quality.
Right.
J. Edgar Hoover said it. The rise of any, we need to destroy the rise of any black messiah.
What you think about this, man? He made
Yes,
this
sir.
song. He made this song from a newspaper article, man. That's old code right there. That's old code right there. That ain't our problem.
Right.
But what Pac say?
Let me show you.
Really never knew a mom's and a dad was a junkie putting weapon to his own. It's sad because I bet Brenda doesn't even know. Just because you're in the ghetto doesn't mean you can't, bro. But that's a vote, my own revelation. Do whatever it takes to resist the temptation. Brenda got herself a boyfriend. Her boyfriend was a cousin, now let's watch the joy. And she tried to hide her pregnancy from a family who really didn't care to see or give a damn shit. Went out and got a church of kids. As long as when the check came, they got first dibs.
Man, that shit right there is the hood.
Yes, sir.
Pro.
Yes,
What
sir.
you hear Tupac explaining is the project of the
Yep.
ghetto, the
Yep.
purpose of
Yep.
the ghetto, the project environment. They did not want Pac exposing
There you go.
purpose of the welfare system.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Right.
Pac was speaking too much.
There you go. He was running his mouth too much.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that makes you a target, Crux.
You know how big
Absolutely.
the welfare industry is?
And man, I was having this.
Look, you heard him say she don't even know. She think the hood is the only thing that exists in her world. She don't know that it's a whole other world out there. What do most kids that grow up in the hood, unless the one, you gonna have very few diamonds in the rough.
Right.
But majority of them, the hood is where they gonna be in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
just confined to their 6 to 8.
If you had 5 homies growing up, you can go back to the hood right now and find at least 2 of them homies still in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah, they just really confined to their 6 to 8 block radius, and they don't want to step outside of their comfort zone. And man, when you sit back and you think about how young Pac was when he passed at 25 years old, the mentality that he had, and you look at the average 25-year-old artist now mentality, it's a huge difference.
Yes, sir. Yes,
the level of content. Now we got this drill rap and demon time. It's, the quality of music, the quality of the content of music has so been devalued. And it's like, even with rappers like Pac, Nas, those guys back in there, where's the social commentary? Like, you glorifying, this street life, but you're not telling the other side of the story. You won't have to be a conscious rapper, but just at least tell the truth.
Right.
They just glorifying the negativity.
Right.
Like, where's the substance?
A lot of rappers didn't listen to the Pimp C's. That's what Pimp C told these people. Stop glorifying that street shit.
Right.
Tell these children what's really going on.
Right.
Absolutely. You could talk about, okay, you got all these different women and all that, but tell the other side, when your ass get caught out there, and you got to go to prison, and you got to spend years, and another man telling you when you could eat, sleep, and who you could talk to on the phone and visit you. The pain that you go through in these streets, people that you done lost along the way. You know what I'm saying? So if you gonna tell one side, tell the other side. You ain't got to preach, but just keep it 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because these kids, for some reason, our kids, they tend to absorb this, and they can't separate it from reality and entertainment. And they wanna mimic what they hear on these records from these rappers. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, being conscious of that, what do these major record labels do? They perpetuate the propaganda to these children.
They push it. We thought the City Girls was something. The City Girls ain't got shit on Sukihana and Sexy Red and Lotto, these new group of women that's out here.
Man. Come on, man.
I catch my daughter. Well, it's gonna be a problem.
Okay, nephew.
And this is on daytime. Go back.
Excuse me, brother Jeff. Okay, I went on mute, nephew, for a moment, and every one of us has a delay echo. Every one of us.
Let me see.
I'm gonna go on mute now while I'm talking.
Is the echo still there? Anyone in the chat, do y'all hear echo? Anyone in the chat, let me know if y'all hear echo. It happens from time to time. Sometimes, okay, go off. Let me see.
Okay, testing 1 2 1 2. Tupac Amaru Shakur.
All right, go. Come on, Jill. Let's check yours, Jill. Jill might be on his car.
Yeah, I'm in my car. I don't know if that got anything to do with it.
It's delayed on yours because I heard it when you came in. I heard me repeating. Jill might be in his car.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go back. I'm gonna drop down, and when I'm almost done driving.
Did you log on through the chat, or did you log on through the text message I sent?
Through the text message.
Yeah, I don't know. Just log out and log back on.
Okay. Yeah, I dropped it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we gonna drop this shit today, bro. But you know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy what's going on right now, though, because I want y'all to hear what I'm about to play. And let me go check my email too. I got an email from somebody. Check this email. Just a second. Here we go. Let's go with this right quick while Brother Jeff coming in.
Okay.
Drop this right here right quick.
Came the search warrant, and it was actually placed at the home of a woman who is married to Dwayne Keith Davis. Dwayne Keith Davis, he is a very famous former gang member who was friends with Diddy. He was friends with Eazy-E, and he is somebody who wrote a book about his time growing up in these circles, and he has self-proclaimed for years that he saw Tupac get shot and that he knew details of this. Now, we don't know know if he lived in the home with his wife. We don't know the affiliation there, but here are some of the things that we do know that police took from the home. We know that they took 5 computers. Boris, we know that they took an iPhone, USB hard drives, tablets, also obviously his book, a copy of Vibe magazine that featured Tupac on the cover. And again, this is a very interesting development. You know, he ran in those circles, Dwayne, back in the 90s. Tupac famously being murdered in 1996 after he left a hotel, the MGM Grand, following a fight that he had gone to see, a boxing fight, and he was in the car with Suge Knight, a very famous record label executive, when a Cadillac pulled up in front of them and began shooting and fired 12 shots that hit Tupac, and he later died from those injuries in the hospital several days later. But this is a very, very monumental development here, and obviously many people are wondering if this could potentially lead to an arrest. But this is all we know right now, but we finally know what they took from the home and whose home it was. So we will keep you posted as this story develops, Boris.
Chloe, it is such a stunning development in part because many of these details and these allegations from the person who wrote that book, they'd been out in the public for some time. Is there any indication as to why this warrant was issued now?
No, so nothing reportable at this time as to why the search warrant was executed this week, but you are exactly right. Dwayne Keith Davis is someone who has been very vocal about the fact that he knew who murdered Tupac, that he had details, that he witnessed the shooting take place, and he has, been very vocal about this, writing a book about it, like you said. And so why all of these years, decades later, are these search warrants finally being executed and these things being taken out of his wife's home? Like I said, 5 computers, tablets, iPhone. So hopefully we'll get more information soon as to what exactly is on those hard drives, those computers, those tablets, and whatnot.
All right, I need J-Rock help. J-Rock, are you available to come on the panel, bro? I need your help on this.
Now,
I need my sidekick right quick. I need you to be my sidekick right quick.
Soon as that news report started, the first thing they said, the first name they said was P. Diddy.
Yeah.
What way to cover up some shit?
Yeah, J-Rock at work.
P. Diddy finna have to be the scapegoat for this. And I got a message, right? And it says that, shout out to Honey Drizzle. It said, as a lawyer, DOJ, FBI corruption will be uncovered in cover-ups, and P. Diddy's own friends will flip as more evidence come in the second round of exposure in 2024. The Tupac killing and Biggie Small killing were both placed by P. Diddy, and this will unravel a maze of money laundering, music industry, blackmail system, connected CIA, FBI, corporation, corruption, and P. Diddy pedophilia connections will evolve, including some of hip-hop most famous artists. Now, with that being said, now y'all finna see the play put on P. Diddy that was put on R. Kelly.
Yes, sir.
They finna squeeze all of them Bad Boy members.
Yeah.
Lil C's, everybody. They coming for y'all. Y'all might well go down there right now and tell them whatever y'all got to say, because they coming.
Yeah.
All Junior Mafia, all them, everybody that Tupac dissed in that song.
Yep.
What's the other motherfucker? Jimmy Iovine, everybody.
Yeah. Woo.
They coming.
Yeah.
They coming. Jimmy Henchman, everybody. All these.
And you got some major players in law enforcement.
The biggest,
that was tied
the
to the
biggest
street,
players
that
is
was
in the
tied
law
to the
enforcement
street in the
because
game.
they help cover up the shit.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the
The
part
law
I'm.
enforcement plays the biggest part.
That's what I'm talking about.
And why would he name them? Now you gotta listen to the association. Y'all can say I'm reaching, but I'm one. I like the Gambino family and all these, but Junior Mafia, the Mafia, Junior Mafia. We know what Mafia is associated with. Mafia is associated with nothing but corruption.
Right. I'm gonna say one name, nephew, and you let me know. Do this name strike a bell? Do you remember this particular name? Who mysteriously, when went to go have a meeting, mysteriously came up dead, and his name is Russell Poole.
Oh, I never heard that name.
Whoa, nephew, let me help you out and refresh your memory.
Help me out, man.
That's the particular Caucasian detective who had got fired.
Oh, I did on the recent. They had him talking. They talked about him on their recent hip hop the homicide thing. That I don't know if y'all watched it with Benjamin Crump. They've been trying to get to the bottom of this Tupac murder. And Big Tupac and Biggie.
He got it. He did. He got to the bottom of it. He got to the bottom.
He said that he found the gun in the backyard of this person that they got incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
They said the actual murder weapon was found.
Now that could have been allegedly. That still could have been planted to throw off, because. But my point is mentioning him. He discovered and uncovered suspicious and questionable in his own department, and was told to yield back. Leave that alone.
What's going to make these
officers, to the point where he was fired?
What's going to make these officers yield back? These officers only making probably 60, 70,000 a year. A corporation like.
But you got to remember, nephew, a lot of them officers also and gang members also were tied with the law enforcement. Also worked that was on death row, and I believe they was on Bad Boy staff as well. You know what I mean? So you have
now you follow.
You see what I'm saying?
Most of these people, most of the security was unpaid, was off-duty law enforcement.
Right.
Off-duty detectives. They say all of the outlaw security was detectives.
Right. Yeah, Lex, I'm already ahead of you with that, Lex. Also, Mr. Wright Sr. was the leading individual for the gang division unit in Compton. And his son was right along with him. He the one who established right security and all that chatter. Man, when I be talking about Pac, man, I don't be talking out my forehead.
But what political agenda is trying to?
There you go.
What person is trying to get put into position in the political field?
Now we get into
make this Biggie and Tupac case so important. Do y'all understand?
That's why I need a J, but he at work right now.
Do y'all understand that every time around an election year,
now you getting it,
a high profile case?
Now you see why I wasn't too happy when I saw the Willie D, and showing that what you just read and all the stuff like he was talking about. I wasn't too excited. I'm like, why all of a sudden now? When all of a sudden, I'm like, Levi, you can't be no surface level thinker, man, with this stuff, man. You just can't.
It's another political campaign year on the way. in
Yes.
2024.
Yes.
What else could you do? What else bigger than bringing down a billionaire like P. Diddy? Solving a murder, a murder suspicion like Tupac and Biggie. You know what that's going to do for the career of these
Yes.
investigators?
Yes. You can darn near go right into the presidency, man.
Y'all was able to solve what?
Yeah.
We was able to solve the murder. Come
And
on,
not
man.
stop them because you knew it all the time. Stop playing with my intelligence. But I hear about
As Unc said, they don't solve shit, they just go ahead and tell it. They always knew what happened.
when there's agenda. They don't just do stuff because they don't be having nothing to do and they trying to be creative. No, they purposely, strategically, when
Everything
it's appointed time around allegedly election time. Major election. Who running for the presidency in 2024? What's the candidate's names looking like?
I ain't even looked into it, but I know they trying to make sure one person don't run.
You get my point though. I just find it very interesting, nephew, all of this time. And how neatly it's presented what this particular interview that they say. How just packaged and neatly. Oh yeah, he did. I think hey, person probably got a deal or whatever. I don't know.
Decision would be like if you
might have got a deal. And so that person went on various interviews, they got a book. So it all makes sense when it's presented. Ooh, where does that sound familiar at? Mr. Kelly's case. You gotta be a thinker, man. You can't be surface level with this.
How about this dude, Keith D? Didn't he just get out of prison?
But that's what I'm talking about.
So listen at the play, right? Keith D, you in prison. These people come to you. Hey, we got an ultimatum. We got a suggestion for you. We need for you to go out and go on this certain platform. We need you to say X, Y, and Z. We trying to solve something.
You picking up what I've been putting down. I'm walking with you, nephew. I'm walking with you.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
All this Keith D coming out speaking the way that he spoke, for this man for them to say that this man told someone he still had the bullets from the gun that killed Tupac. What motherfucker you know? You gotta be delusional.
I already said when I watched the Willie D clip, and Willie D said the shell cases at the scene don't match what they had in the crib. Y'all better stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with us with this, man. Like I said before, nephew, I always look at what's not being presented, what's not being stated. Don't just go with the surface because of the way it's presented and packaged. It's deeper than more complicated than that. There's crooked law enforcement in there. There are politicians in this, man. It's a lot of ingredients in this thing. You could just have common sense from the surface and look, and you should be able to see that. I don't know what else to tell nobody. But like I said,
it's crazy though that these type of cases you know, to be relevant in 2023,
Hmm.
it's all
Hmm.
because of the only way a case like this doesn't get solved. This wasn't no mystery case. This shit happened in broad. You know, it's not in broad in front of everybody.
Right.
So the only way a case like this doesn't get solved is that
you got it.
detectives
You
turn
got
a
it.
blind eye to
You
certain
got it.
evidence.
Like I've been stating it. It's got to be higher up authority.
Then for Biggie to say he didn't even want to come.
Hmm.
Well, he said he felt like if he wouldn't have came to Cali, you know, people would have thought he did it, this, that, and the third. So he wanted to come to Cali, you know, because he
That's all.
felt like he hadn't done nothing wrong.
No. I think they spent that. I think that was all cap going in his ears.
Uh-huh. But see,
That's why.
they had to make it, they had to convince him to go to Cali so that the play could happen the way that it happened, so they could try to link that, hey, California, Cali retaliated against Biggie behind the situation with Tupac. But Tupac, even when you hear them talk about the situation, Tupac and Biggie was good friends. But it was all about the situation that happened at the studio. And when he got robbed and jumped and shot at the studio, who advised Biggie to put out the song, Who Shot You?
Right, right, right. Before we go there, let me say this, and this is a lesson for our youth and just us in general. Um, Watch out for anybody who bring a message to you. Anybody deliver something to you and tell you something about another individual that seemingly may be in opposition or someone you disagree with, or it seemed to be some controversy around. Get rid of all them clowns out of your damn ear. And you two individuals get to some place that nobody know about. If you want to take your 1-2 bodyguard, they want to take their 1-2 bodyguard because of your fans, all that stuff, you be exclusive, all of that. Yeah, that's a decision you got to make. But if them two Negroes would have got together and sat down like men and got all that other foolishness meaning your inner circle, your road dogs, your crew, your friends, whoever, your executive managers, public relations, whoever. If they would have got them to, because later on when you hear, but before Pac that passed, when you hear them steady address Pac, Pac said, "Me and Biggie stuff is smaller than that." You know what I mean? Me and Biggie about this. He's our mad nigga, and I'm rushing him all that. It wasn't that deep like that, but you got to understand Pac's psyche, though. That's what people miss. You got to understand Pac's psyche in the moment. Well versed, a big personality, militant, ain't no coward. He ain't gonna bite his tongue. He gonna say what it is, right or wrong, indifferent. He gonna speak. He gonna speak his mind. You know what I mean? But then you talk about somebody who's still progressing, who's still maturing, who's still trying to navigate what it is to be a man and navigate through all of this maze. And you got at this particular age all this stuff thrown on you, and you just a young black from the hood that came from nothing, from garbage, from the gutter, and you placed with all of this. Like Boosie say, along the way, yeah, you gonna have people gonna be hypnotized with hatred. Just for the simple fact of you doing what you doing. So that's why you got to be very careful. Not only what you say, but who you say it to. And if you have a beef or something, before you start flipping your mouth and running to what someone put in your doggone ear, hey man, hey, Come holler at me, bro. You know what I mean? We need to sit down and have a meeting, bro. Don't send so and so to come to. No, you and I, we need to sit down and break bread, man, and clear up this air about this thing. That's what mature men do. You feel me, nephew? You feel me, man? I
You got
yield back.
because you never know what someone else's motive is. On ulterior motive is. They could be telling you one thing. Some people, when people can think you in a position that you may not even hold, and they'll send you off, over that, make you go out and do something that you may regret, and then come back when you really find out the truth behind the shit. You realize, man, you done got played. A lot of people out here play for position, man. And if you're not smart enough to see the play, then you become victim of circumstances. That's what I look at Biggie as. That's what I look
Mm-hmm.
at Pac as. They victim of circumstances, man. People had different agendas, that they wasn't a part of. They was a part of it, but they wasn't a part of the after plan.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Tupac, man. Imagine Tupac at 40, 50 years old, man. What he accomplished in 25 years on this earth.
Right, right. And he hadn't even really got started yet. You know what I mean? See, let me say that. I'm gonna have to clear the air up with this. And it bothers me because I heard a little comment that when I listened to Willie D, um, and it really just it just vexed my spirit. And I'm gonna go to the movie juice. A lot of people don't comprehend and understand, and that's what people don't get. People talk about how the role Bishop changed Pop. We all can agree that we have heard that floating around or at some point came to that conclusion. Pop was hard to work with, da 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 da, all of this kind of stuff. That's why he got fired with the Hughes brothers and all this kind of stuff. On the set, he walking off the set and all this. Jermaine Hopkins, one of his close friends that started in the movie with him, was type of Pop. He was a jokester. You know, he was a jokester. So they always playing. They was young. So he came at Pac and told Pac, "Hey man, Pac, they tired of your shenanigans, man." Paraphrase, "Hey man, they about to rewrite the script, man, and take you out." What you talking about, Big Chops? You know what I mean? That's what Pac called you, man. That was his nickname, Big Chops. What you talking about, Big Chops? They talking about man. And Jermaine didn't know prior to him coming, trying to prank Pac and mess with him, like he normally do. Prior to that, while in his trailer, Pac had just got the news one of his homeboys got murdered. So his whole spirit and mindset was just off. He was just in the daze, you know what I mean, trying to process that. And the same time, Pac will stop doing the shoot, to show love. If he saw a sister that looked like she was a single parent, you know what I mean, like she was going through, this is something Pac always did. It was well known within his inner circle. You had a lot of his inner circle talk about this, but Pac never publicized this stuff. So you had to be within his inner circle to even be privy to this information. But he would look out for the sisters like that. Had little kids, the boy, hey, you want to see how this camera work? And the crew and the producers, like, well, they gave him that because that's who Pac was. In the midst of Pac showing love to New York and all these, just New York, Pac wasn't dissing all in New York. Pac was talking about certain incidents and certain individuals, but he had adoration and devotion and love for New York. But certain individuals he addressed, and he went at for a reason and a purpose. So during that time, Pac jewelry came up stolen out of his trailer. So he like, man, wait a minute, man. I'm not even, y'all didn't cater food that's costing all of this thousands. And Pac was, they ain't come from that. No disrespect. Pac like, man, I'm putting the money back in the community. So Pac them would go around, in the hood. They went to the soul food, right? They went to the Chinese food to get some Chinese food. That's how they got out. So he like, man, I'm giving back to community. The jewelry that he was rocking, he bought it in New York. You know what I mean? He's stopping to shoot, showing love to the kids, to the single black sisters, man. You know what I mean? Y'all stealing my jewelry, man. Then at the same time, one of his closest dogs, you know what I mean, get murked. And so he's trying to process, like, man, New York, man, you know, you got to understand the moment. Now put yourself as a human, man or woman, put yourself real talk in that scenario at that age. Talking about hot, there wasn't no hothead. If you grow up in the gutter, your mama was strung out and was struggling with her thing. You was told your father was dead. You come from nothing. You've been messed with by the COINTELPRO man since you was adolescent years. And the one man that was standing in the gap that you knew that was there, he get locked down as a political prisoner. Shout out to Dr. Mutulu Shakur. So can you imagine growing up through all this and have to protect your siblings and all of that when you get running from here, you know, being, you know, 13 or 14 different houses before you reach the age of 13, come from the bottom of nothing. You finally make success and you do it and you get hit because of your name. Can you imagine how you respond while you still in a progression of understanding what it is to be a model citizen, black man from the ghetto, from the hood, who has gifted and talent and is trying to make your mark. And then you have individuals who's trying to get you to talk a certain way, not say this, not say that. You know what I mean? When you know you got activism within your DNA. Can you imagine getting to that stage and your first big break of a movie, and here you showing love in the community, you stopping the shooting, doing all this stuff, and then you know they got all the security around this doggone set, and all of a sudden your jewelry, it ain't so much about the jewelry, you can go replace that, but you let your how that happen, bro? And then nobody knows nothing. So I come to do a doggone verse. Dude say, hey man, you got the money, dude. I say, yeah, I got your meet me at the Wats Studios, bro. You know, woo woo. All right, hey man, I'm down. Woo, woo. And then this comes down, and then the dude who's proclaiming to be like the mayor and the don in the hood and community and blow it up. And this your set, this your place, this your building, this your studio where you're at. And I'm asking you sending messages here and there. No, dude, come see me, bro. And nobody knows nothing. Won't you feel some type of way? Nephew, you picked up what I just put down. Articulate what I just said in your vernacular. JT, you just heard what I just laid down. Let them know that I ain't out of my forehead, that I'm speaking that real hardcore truth.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm in the store right quick, so I'm gonna mute up again. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling where you coming from because you know, you giving all the right aspects. You gotta look at the chain of events. You gotta take in consideration his age at the time. I mean, anybody would have felt some type of way. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you break it down like that. But so I'm a year back.
What you think, nephew?
Oh yeah, I mean everything you said to speak to a person, how a lot of the things a person go through, it help it becomes a part of their character, and despite all of the things that he went through and his attitude being what it was, the brother still was for greatness. He still was for positive.
Right,
You talk about when a person feel like you tried to take their life. I
right,
mean, how do you expect them to respond? You
right,
know, and I wish it could have been something different. That's
right,
why I put out the play like with after he got shot at the studio in New York. Why would P Diddy
right,
release a song, "Who Shot You,"
right,
knowing that
Right.
Tupac just got shot and he feeling some type of way.
Right.
You know, he feel like he was set up.
Right.
You know, and then you put out a song like me. I'm sitting it. Well, then now, even if you didn't shoot me,
Right.
I'm gonna think that you had something to do with it, because why would you put out that type of music around that climate? You get what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I feel like a lot of the people played a part in it when nobody was trying. They was using the controversy
There
as
you.
publicity
There
versus
you.
not understanding the element of
There you
how
go.
severe this shit was and how far it could really go. Because Pac wasn't not saying that Biggie was no punk or no hoe, but we
Right.
knew that Tupac was gonna stand on all 10.
Right.
I mean, that's his nature, his pedigree from his mama to his dad. That's how he was raised. He was never raised to stand down when it came down to respect. Especially now, we can have a mutual respect for each other, but once my life become a part of that respect,
there you go.
oh, hold on, I have to look at this shit different. Now it's a combat situation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's life or death now. You know what I'm saying? So, what you said, what you said, having the right friends around you is important, because you're gonna have people around you that's looking at you saying you the superstar, and they want your position. When you got all of this recorded music, like Tupac say he go to the studio, record 5, 6 songs. He say 5 or 10 songs a day. He would record every day. He records songs.
Yep.
So
that's drinking.
Now you look at it. If he recording, hold on, Vibe panel, all that money, and they did not even have no real security. Only nigga. Well, come to find out, Death Row, most of the security that was working for Suge Knight was undercover officers.
Yep.
And that came from Bounty Hunter, BJ, and a couple other people that ran into Suge. Said that they had undercover police working for them. But that's the problem. When you start getting into the business of dealing with corrupt police, man, the police is always gonna win.
Yep.
Because you the one doing the dirt as the artist.
Yep.
Everybody got mad on. I mean, even if you look at one of my favorite movies, Frank Lucas, right? When that officer if them other officers would have found that bag of money in that trunk, do you think they would have turned it in? Hell no, they went for a million, couple $1 million in a abandoned car.
Yep. Yep.
When an officer is willing to take bribes from you, why in the hell would you trust this officer with your life?
Yep. Yep.
Really and truly have to understand it.
And that's why when you hear Michael Moore interview, he ain't really get on like that, but he protected him. He did his job.
You said you would have turned in $1 million? Man, DV, you got to come on this panel, man. I ain't gonna even lie. Ain't no way if I find $1 million in the trunk of a car, I'm turning it in, man. I can't say. Now, if I got a coworker with me, if I got a coworker with me, and I look at him, we find this $1 million, and I look at him, and he look at me. Hold on. Hey, man, this $1 million. If he looking like he gonna tell something, I don't know, I might. But if I'm in the car by myself and I find $1 million, as a detective, man, ain't no fucking way.
But see, as a detective, and you privy to the law like that,
TV said,
you
no, I
got
would have took that shit.
yeah, and you got insight. You don't know if somebody got over on the mob. You know, they
See, the
looking, and they,
thing
you
with
know,
Keefe D, the
you
thing
know,
with Keefe D, people gonna realize when this shit all come down, when it all comes out, Keefe D was put in place to do what he did. He was
yeah,
sent to Vlad to go
that's
on there and say what he said.
that's what I've been saying, nephew. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. Well, that's what I've been saying. That's all I've been saying. Got to think through this process. You can't be surface
Why
level
would
on.
he, after all of these years, all of a sudden want to come out and say he still got the shell case?
That's why I said it don't make sense. It's too neat, nephew. It's too packaged together. It's just too neatly put together.
And then they go to a girlfriend house, not a wife house. No, just a girl. You gonna take all this shit to somebody's house that you don't. Come on, man.
Mm.
It's just
Make
so
it
much
make
shit.
sense. Make it make
They say
sense.
your device not connected, DV. I would love to see. And then now this is gonna be tied between California and New York. So it's gonna be some big shit going on in California and New York. It's gonna be a lot of shit going on in between those states, with those two states. And when we talk about the politician go, well, as far as politics go,
That's what I was just going to say, nephew. I want to know what a common thread at and how it links to what you just said. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's because you can't. No one is going to
Yo, you hear me?
no one's going to convince me otherwise.
You hear me, Vi?
What's up with it?
What's
What
good
up?
with it? Now you know that, man. What's going on? Panel chat, brother EJ. What's good with it, baby? Y'all know damn well I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving no $1 million, nigga. That shit is. Hey, would you tell them that shit is coming home with me?
Hey, hey, man. I done seen a lot of things and I've witnessed a lot of stuff. And sometimes you got to take a you gonna take a chance. But I'm like,
Man,
oh,
listen.
you can
I'm from
take that. I
man.
didn't
I'm
know.
from Chi
I
Town
done
too.
did stuff, man, and they done got over on the set and
Right.
the work around and them niggas looking for them. You know what I'm saying? Man, dude, mm,
Ah,
woo,
man,
man, I
listen.
look on my
I,
shoulders, man. Like, mm,
hey, look.
I'm,
I need that.
I'm just
I
being
need. I need that $1 million so I can come down there and have with Big Country.
real. Hey,
Cause I
hey,
can't put the,
I
cause
hear
I
you.
can't put the whole. Cause if they find out I got $1 million, bro, then the whole hood gonna be at me like they
But
at the club.
if it's $1 million like that, do you
They gonna
think
be
that's
trying to
all?
set me up.
You think that's all that they got where it came from? You don't think they ain't got no
I'm
ears, no
trying to tell
man? You got some crackhead, man. Just get them a bag, dude.
you.
Yo,
We got a
Hey,
ears
lady
look.
on.
everywhere,
Hey,
man.
we got a lady on the we got a lady on the panel, man. Let's see what
I
she got
can't
to
see.
say.
Oh, okay.
I,
Who is this?
I can't see.
I can't see.
What's
Hammer
going?
time funk. Hammer time funk time.
Okay, what's going on?
Hey,
I,
how you doing?
oh, thank you. When I heard that they made arresting Tupac's murder, I remember I was out of high school when he was got when he got shot, and everybody didn't want to talk about nothing. I never heard of this Keefe D person. So, do you think he might talk?
I think
Talk.
he is. I think he didn't already talk.
Oh, he didn't talk for years. Oh,
He
he
been he
been
because
talking.
he placed this, and see the thing is what people not saying. I think was what alerted. He placed himself in the car with
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was.
Lance. He
And
said
he didn't.
Lance. He said he gave the gun to Lance,
Right.
and
He
Right.
But
told.
Lance
but
did the shooting.
is he
That,
connected to Biggie though?
Yeah,
mm,
Lance is baby. Lance was Keefe D's nephew.
Uh-huh. So
So
I'm
but
just figuring this out.
but he
So
wasn't
it
kin.
took them
He
a
didn't
long
have
time
nothing to
to
do
take
with the
it
Biggie.
took them a long time to figure out Jam Master Jay's murder. So I just figured it'll be in his best interest to start talking and start naming some names, just to save his own skin.
I
I
think he
suppose.
want to. But see, Keefe D, had connect. They was security for Puff Daddy and them when they
Yeah.
went to California.
There's always been kind of stories about Puff Daddy over the years, and I'm just wondering. It's gotta be bigger than Puffy. It's gotta be a lot of like
Oh yeah,
when Tupac came out that with that woman with that Hit 'Em Up. I remember when
oh
Hit 'Em
yeah.
Up came out when Biggie said when Tupac said I did it with your wife, and he said he effed his wife. And I was just thinking to myself that I wonder what Biggie thought when that came out when he said hit him up to that, and he really eviscerated Biggie on that album. He really did.
See,
You
P
know, Hit
Diddy
'Em Up was a serious track to come behind, man. And I mean,
and
he
P
talked
Diddy
about the
encouraged
whole
him.
Bad Boy as a staff, as an executive.
He took out Little Kim. He took out Little Kim and everything. Man, that was the
And
best diss track of all time.
he encouraged P Diddy, and P Diddy encouraged Biggie too to come back with it.
Yeah,
He
it just
encouraged him to come back with it.
Because
That's
Diddy
exactly why it was a That's why it was a rebuttal. See,
yeah.
because P Diddy played a damn for show part in the whole thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he
I
didn't.
figured
He
there was gonna be I figured there was gonna be heck to pay about that. But I just hope the guy says something to the police about what really happened when they ransacked his house. They said he found articles on Tupac and everything. And
yeah,
yeah,
they
so
said
they
the
found
dude had
articles
been keeping
about the murder.
rifles. They say he kept the gun that he
Yeah,
did the shooting.
yeah,
All type of shit that I just
but
don't
that gun,
understand.
vibe wasn't leaked to the murder of Pac
yeah.
or
I,
Biggie. That
before I
gun
go, I'm
wasn't leaked.
57 years old, and I thought I would never see the day that this murder would have been solved, because I thought it would have been solved day one, but everything got messed up, you know.
That
And they say
murder
the
been
cops was
solved.
involved in it. They say the cops was involved in it, and I've been thinking to myself all these years later that somebody had to say something to make the people police go to that house back in July and get a search warrant for all that stuff.
Well, you
Hmm.
see how they put the Swedes on R. Kelly when they got
Yeah,
Demetrius,
yeah.
when they got Demetrius, and they
Yeah.
got
As far as
all
R.
these.
Kelly, I'm sorry, big guy. As far as R. Kelly goes, I hope he does. But you know what? It's got to be up to the judge, and we're not the judge. That's up to the judge and his lawyers. But it's
And his
really mostly
lawyers.
up to the judge to make that decision.
Right, but what I'm saying is how they were able to get R. Kelly was they put the Swedes on all of these workers, and these workers they pretty much told them like if you don't do this or you don't say this, we gonna charge you with this, and you
Yeah,
gonna go down as well.
with the
So what
rest
you
of them.
see is now that they got Keefe D, they
Yeah,
implemented P Diddy. Guess what? Junior Mafia, Lil C's, and all these
you'll
different
see.
All of them
they finna
Yeah.
come. They finna be picked up. They gonna be brung in for questioning.
for
Oh yeah.
And
questioning.
guess
Yeah.
what?
Even if they didn't play a part, they're gonna be somebody
No,
brought in for
they're gonna
questioning.
have to. They're gonna have to start talking and know what they really found out about it. But thank you for having me up here, Big Ivy, and everybody.
Thank you. No problem. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah,
Bless.
57, and
Thanks
I
for
thought
coming
I
up.
would never
Blessing
see.
to you.
Oh, 57 years old, and I thought I would never see the day that there'll be justice for Tupac and Biggie. That's all I have to say
Yeah,
about it.
same age.
Thank
We the
you.
same
Thank
age, my dear. We the same age, my dear.
Oh, okay. Well,
you.
Yeah.
I
Miss
hope
Didi,
you're part of Hammer Time Funk. Check out my
I can't.
channel.
Hey, Uncle, not to cut. May I cut in for just a second and say
nah,
this,
she
and then
finna get
you can
ready.
get
She
off?
finna get ready to cut off. She
No,
finna get
I
ready to
know
cut
she was
off.
going to get ready to go. Uncle Muse, I don't know if you the same age because you know too many songs that I don't even know, bro, about the drill and all this other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Well,
50.
thank you for having me up here.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Hammer Time Funk, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And don't be no stranger. Don't be no stranger.
No, don't be no stranger on my show either.
Okay.
All right, make sure you put your link in the chat.
Yes,
Okay,
please do.
thank you.
Please do. Please do.
Well, I don't have a wrench, so I couldn't do it.
It
Okay.
don't let you put the link in the chat.
Huh?
It don't allow you to put it in there.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
Okay. Well, one
Thank
of the
you.
moderators, if any moderator is in the chat, could y'all go and get Hammer Time Folk link and post it in the chat? I thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you for having me up here.
Yes, ma'am.
Blessings.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, dear.
You're
J Rock,
welcome.
what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, everybody?
Thank you, J Rock. I know you was working, take care of the bendo, man. You
Yeah,
how you
Rock.
down,
Yeah,
man. I've
shout
been
out to
watching.
everybody in the chat and everything too. Yeah, man. I heard you asking about me. I was like, well, shoot, dang, I still got a little bit more time before I got to go ahead and get on out of here. So I said, I'm gonna handle this first, but then I'm gonna jump on as soon as I can. So yeah, I heard the news about it. I heard the news about it, and everybody, because I saw the Willie D video, and he had just got off, and it jumped in my mentions, and I jumped on it. So I watched it and everything, and I was like, okay, but then in the back of my mind, I'm like, look, I'm not a cynic, but well, you can call me a cynic, you can call me whatever, but my whole thought process is 27 years. The anniversary was just a couple weeks ago of his death.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, you got a dude who's out here who's named Keefe D, who's actually been around talking for a long time.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, there's an arrest in Tupac's murder / assassination. You even heard the video that Big Vi played earlier in regards to CNN. Even the reporter said, "Why did it take so long?"
Right, the guy when he came on. Yep.
So that alone already says a lot. But to me, I'm already in the back of my mind like this. I'm like, look, you wait till now when R. Kelly is in the middle of his appeal.
Come on, J Rock. That's why I love J Rock, man.
And Bill Cosby just got another lawsuit thrown on him.
Come on, J Rock.
So now all of a sudden we got him.
And Jennifer Bunjean just sued the city of Chicago.
Yeah, I just saw that. When you pulled that up. So I'm like, but you wait till now. It's particularly with R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, both had those two things going on. Now all of a sudden, Tupac's murder is being brought
right around the corner.
So I'm like, you can call me a cynic, you can call me whatever, but to me is the timing of this whole thing was already suspect.
Yep. Bingo.
It's already suspect. Because right now, how can you not tell me that with all this going on? Because see, they gotta be losing something. And then as far as Vlad is concerned, Vlad trying to gain credibility or credence somewhere. Because
let's get rid of him.
Because let's keep in mind, he still got this so-called interview with R. Kelly that he said he refuses to air anyway.
Right. Yeah, that Joker, man. I could say, ooh, man, I'm gonna leave that alone with him.
So my question is, why you choose not to air that? But now if because I think with everything with R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, it's about to come to a head, and he's trying to gain some, and he try to gain some credibility. And when people say, well, he did jump in and got to help bring the Tupac murder to justice, so we got to extend him some type of grace, some type of credibility. I'm like, look, you can't turn around and do this, a murder that happened almost 27 years ago, and then you come right back around at the same time, be part of having another innocent brother in jail.
Right. Vlad won't clout.
Nah, bro. Can't.
He ain't getting it.
He ain't getting that pass from me.
I'm sorry.
But I said it was something when I seen Benjamin Crump them doing the investigation of Tupac murder. I said it just didn't sit right, man. Something bigger going on, man. I'm like, why would Benjamin Crump be investigating the homicide of Big Tupac?
Politics. Look at the name.
It had to go to the higher ups. You know what I'm saying? Because my what I believe is that they knew back then who was all associated. They knew who they thought. They had an idea who did it, but they had to be able to make it 100%, to be proven. You know what I mean? I mean, especially looking at the fact of what's her name? How you say it? Viola Waters? I don't want to mess it up. Viola Waters, his mama. Yeah, she had to she had to you know what I'm saying, she was in part of the case too, you know what I'm saying, she was investigating it too, because remember she was the one who had the case brought back up after if I'm not mistaken the first 10 years after the case that was
Yeah, I don't know the time frame on it, but this
okay.
name I'm gonna mention, this name I'm gonna mention to you and
Right,
J
you
Rock.
get what I'm saying though. That's all I want to say though. That's
Yeah, I mentioned the
I'm
name J
going back
Rock.
on me for a second.
I mentioned the name J Rock, and nephew wasn't familiar with the name. I mentioned the name J Rock. Russell Poole.
You said Poole as a Poole?
Yes.
I remember the name kind of sounds familiar. There was
Okay, the detective that got fired.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Because I was thinking about the detective. He was like he was a white dude, kind of slender, had long hair.
There you go, J Rock.
I
And he
remember.
had a meeting to present. And after that meeting, whatever happened during that meeting, he mysteriously reported dead.
Mm-hmm. They said quote that and I think the cause of death. I think they said quote unquote a heart attack.
Yeah, yeah. And he was in the best shape. He had been working out, running, jogging. I am not buying that.
No, I'm not buying that either. And anybody that's been involved in either case has turned up dead. Hell, like I said, his Pac's bodyguard, Frankie.
Yeah, and I mentioned I forgot about Frankie, but I mentioned Michael Moore, J Rock. Remember, he was the only one. It was his own personal firearm that he was not relinquishing.
Yeah.
So what did they do? They sent him to 6 Deuce. They took him off of Pac.
Yep. And he went to the club.
Yep. And he said he heard on the radio, got him. And he said the voice that he heard was not a member of Right Security.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Sure, somebody also come over and said, "Say no more on the radio."
Yeah, and I remember that, and I also remember
he was the only one that had it already. He was the only one.
I think he said that on the radio too, the station, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was to hear that because he still had his radio and he had his firearm, and they sent him to in 6 Deuce.
Yeah, and I also remember.
And remember, he was dead in the fire.
And I also remember when Frank wrote a book called "I Got Your Back: My Life Guarding Tupac."
Yeah,
that book came out a couple years after Pac died. I think it was like about 99, between 98 and 2000. I know that book came out. It was around that time, and then he wound up dead. In his ranch outside of Los Angeles.
Yep.
I think it was like 50 miles outside of LA, something like that.
Yeah, because he stayed in Orange County.
Something about I think they tried to dismiss it as a suicide.
Right. He stayed out in Orange County. Yeah, in California. Yeah.
You know what's so crazy now? Because nowadays, with these rappers now, with these drill rappers or whatever, whatever the other name is, y'all said it is. Now it doesn't take the inside of the label to create problems and beefs and all that. Now they have them out here on the street due to the internet, due to YouTube. You understand? Now they don't even need it. Now they just have beefs on their own. I mean, everybody's shooting up this person, that person, and then they talking about rolling them up in a blunt or whatever. Hey, I could be a little bit wrong about some of it. I don't know. I'm not with that generation. I'm 47 years old. I'm past that generation, so I don't know.
Let me share this with you, and J Rock will back it up.
Go ahead.
So that I don't phrase it incorrectly. But you're familiar with Crazy Bone, I think he is. Crazy Bone? Crazy Bone. I think it's Crazy Bone. Yeah, Crazy Bone.
You see, he's fighting for his life right now after he exposed the secret letter that killed hip hop.
There you go.
I didn't see that.
Yes, sir. In 91, there was a meeting done. And this particular gentleman attended this meeting, and they were told if they had to sign a disclosure, and you can't say nothing after this. You get all the information on this, woo, woo. In other words, you say something, this, something probably happened to you. This particular gentleman said he was curious, so others said they weren't on that. Like, what this got to do with? I'm not even part of the music industry. What this even got to do with But because of the heavy hitters in their field where they work, and this particular gentleman said he was curious, so he stayed to hear out, and he wound up having this letter that he held on to for decades.
Okay.
And it was a letter. How you phrase it, J Rock? The letter that
it was the I think it was called the
secret letter that
the
killed
secret
hip-hop.
letter that killed hip hop and destroyed a generation. I believe it's
right. So you got individuals that are super wealthy, and when I say super wealthy, I'm not talking about Warren Buffett.
Okay.
No disrespect to Warren Buffett. I admire Warren Buffett, but he would scratch the pad. I'm talking about people like Prince Charles. Not putting him in there, but I'm talking about the level. What I'm talking about, wealth, power. When I'm speaking of wealth and power, I'm not talking about money.
And here's the thing, to really set the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
The guy the guy that penned the letter, he was in one part of the house, but then he and a couple of his other colleagues that was up in there, there's these whole other group of guys that was in another part of the house, but they were standoffish.
Mm-hmm.
And he never really kind of figured out who they were. So then after like Unc just said about the non-disclosure that they had to sign, that they couldn't divulge the information from the meeting, whatever the case may be. And the main thing they kept saying was, these are individuals that are very interested in our particular industry.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when the plan came out, and was talking about, that's when the strategy came in, saying that they're going to stop pushing certain music and hip hop, and we're going to take it into another direction.
Mm-hmm.
And
they would have a revolving door throughout the prison system across the four corners of the globe, because the prisons are big business. It's big business. And you got the super wealthy are investing in that. They have a part in the stake in the stocks and shares. When you research
prisons, I think, were already being
how
built.
much money it takes to actually house one inmate, you think at that time, then you think about, you're not in there to rehabilitate them, really. And the horrible thing that we have learned with Mr. Kelly and got a glimpse of insight with him and other individuals we've heard about over the years, what really goes on in there. Now think about the revolving door. Calculate that across the globe. Who you think is be able to invest in that? And then you have people in political positions, people that reside over the bench. You feel me? I yield back. Y'all just picked up what I just laid down. I yield back.
Yeah, that's pretty much the entire get down, because you got a whole different industry all of a sudden. And even the guy that penned the letter, he was confused. He said, why are these people up in here? Why are we doing all this, and why are they up in here being really interested in what we do? And then as the meeting evolved, it was like the more he kept listening, the more sinister the agenda was being revealed. And he was like, and ever since that night when he left, even when the guys left, the people, the security that was outside was just making sure that they would leave and not come back for anything. And at that point, he said he never forgot that night. And this is like 20 years after. I think he penned that letter, 20 years later? And he finally decided to write about it.
That's correct. Now let me explain to you, chat and panel. Let me explain to you why this is so critical and so important. Here's my core summary. Please listen to how I'm finna phrase what I'm finna phrase out of my forehead. This is why this is so dangerous of what they were plotting, and the reason why the behavior in our communities, the black and brown community, Asian community, to some degree, a bit, when it comes to hip hop and how it influence individuals, our young men and our young ladies. The direction and the plot that they had was sinister and was evil and wicked. It was demonic. And here's why I say that. And not just isolated to hip hop, other music as well, but we're going to stay with hip hop for the moment because of the way hip hop music is structured. If anybody that's musically inclined that's in the chat that comprehend what I'm saying, the way hip hop is structured is like it's like you say let's say you got 1, 2, 3. Hip hop is structured 3, 2, 1. So by time you even recognize or discover or realize the impact of what you just listened to, because of how hip hop was designed and structured, it has already bypassed your gateway in your frontal lobe.
Speak on it.
Let me just teach for a minute. Music is the only thing that you can research after studying how both hemispheres of the brain work. Music is the only thing on this planet that can go into the mind of a man or a woman, disturb their very conscience without their consent, and alter your behavior. Remember, for those of you, whether you astute, well versed in it, or even practice to the fullest, but you believe and understand the biblical story. And I'll just let that breathe. Lucifer was a musical angel. His gifting was music. So when he was cast out, read the story. Those of you who believe in the biblical story, respect for those who don't subscribe to that particular literature, must respect. However, if you do understand the spiritual aspect behind that, and you can know the difference when you hear smooth, soft jazz, when you hear music like Sam Cooke, Change Gonna Come, and then you hear drill music and trap music. There's a spirit on that can tell all type of crimes, influence to do and alter your behavior, only music. A lot of us, real talk, and it's a funny moment, a lot of us don't even know our ABCs. Because the way it was given to us in rhythm and to a song for us to recall it and remember it. A lot of us know old commercials for products that they would advertise that we never probably even purchased or even interested in. But because they put it to music, you recall it. Music is the only thing that can go into the mind of a human being, bypass their gateway, their frontal lobe. Your frontal lobe is where it rejects that which is not based on your belief system. It comes up as a God. I reject that. When you listen to hip hop, especially now the hip hop you hear now, it has a way of bypassing your gateway that deciphers whether this is good or not. By the time you discover and realize that it had already infected and altered your behavior, I yield back. Let that breathe.
Okay, that's what's up.
And those who have had experience that can recall, if we be honest, and just like, oh, wait a minute, you know what? Yeah. That's why you have to safeguard your eye gate, your ear gate, and you got to watch what you say off of your mouth and your tongue, because life and death is in the power of the tongue, the word says. But let me say it again, life and death is in the power of the hand. It's like an invisible comes out and creates whatever it is that you say. That's why you need to be very careful when you adults and you have a disagreement, how you talk to one another in front of your children. Words are powerful, man. They can set a whole atmosphere and a whole tone. They can crush a human spirit. So if I can influence music in such a way and couple all type of things with it, where since you are tribal people, you're going to listen to the beat and the rhythm before you really hear about what they even saying in the song. I done already bypassed your gateway and got into your soul and alter your behavior with not only without your consent, and you can't even recall where it came from and how it happened. Music has the power to do that. Now it should be making sense. So no, I don't want Mr. Kelly to sing no humanitarian song because of what we're trying to do. So we're gonna push this particular persona, this particular image, and as time goes, now we're gonna turn around and try to crucify you for that which we set you up for. Wow. And you got to be the soldier in the midst of that war to even comprehend what I just said out of my forehead. And that's why today the pureness and the goodness of R&B is crippled without this man's presence. And now people talking about unmute him. No, keep the same energy you had, especially when you get out. It's Uncle Muse, and I yield back.
See, that's the thing though. You know, now they see that people are waking up to this agenda that these people have put in place, you know, for us, and how they are using the music, how they're using the television, how they're using the money, how they're using the projects to study us, they invest so much time into everything that we do. Like it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So when you get artists out here that's the caliber of a Sam Cooke or Johnny Taylor or Otis Redding or Donny Hathaway, all these Aretha Franklin, you get these artists that talk about this music that you can relate to in your everyday life and what's going on in the communities, you know, to the Tupacs, the R. Kelly's. I mean, even Biggie Small talked about it. I mean, that is something that they take and they look at that and they use it as far as a measurement. Okay, now we see that they didn't caught on to this. We need to move the goalposts back some more. And now the only people who suffer from the death of all of our great celebrities, whether they actors, entertainers, musically, is the black community, because we rely on our entertainers and our musicians to bring out the information to help us understand what's going on in our community. But you got some people who's going to go, some of these artists are going to go along with the propaganda, the agenda, and you're going to have the ones that go against the agenda who don't survive. They don't last. So what we looking at right now, man, with this Keefe D, this whole everything surrounding this Tupac, like we in 2023. Understanding that murder doesn't have a statute of limitation, but man, this is finna be the biggest news of 2023. We on the verge now, people. I don't know if y'all been looking, and I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but they are planning and predicting a government shutdown next month. Look at the timing of this shit that they got going on.
Right.
They are predicting another coronavirus outbreak.
Great point, nephew. Great point. And
but
Lady B,
what the black community is finna be doing.
Lady B, that was
community. The black community is finna be trying to solve Tupac and Biggie death, while everybody else is finna be advancing and protecting themselves, buying the water, buying the tissue, buying the canned goods, and everything, while we finna be sitting here arguing with each other about nigga Keefe D ain't killed that nigga, man, Big ain't had nothing to do with that, man, Puffy a whole ass nigga, man. This what we finna be doing.
Great point, nephew. Yeah.
That's
Lady B, that was me earlier. I was speaking. Lady B, this is Muse Black, nephew Vi's uncle. Blessings to you, Lady B. Blessings to you, Lady Earth. Blessings to you. Yeah, that's an awesome point you just pointed out, nephew. And now we see the timeline as Brother J-Rock was laying out, man. It ain't no coincidence.
Man, they talking about the government could shut down as early as the beginning of next month, October.
Yeah. They could have did that in January, though, nephew. They could have did that this past January. They could have did that.
You see what I'm saying? Now everybody's going to be focused on this Keefe D Tupac shit. Nobody finna be looking at what's going on when you going in them stores and seeing them fucking shelves empty.
Right.
Y'all see the price that went up. So guess what? They finna create a goddamn pandemic, and the food is so fucking high you ain't gonna be able to afford it. So motherfuckers finna be stealing, looting. They already doing it in Baltimore, Chicago, LA. They looting everywhere. It's looting going on. This shit is going on every day.
Right.
But we're not getting the news coverage on that because they don't want to put the exposure on that shit, because they're going to say, why are these people looting?
Right.
Oh, they understand. Oh, it's coming out a little bit at a time. The government is finna be under a shutdown. If the government shut down, that means everything stops.
Yep. And then who comes into office to save the day? Which party will it be?
I'll ask myself, how will a government shutdown affect people who have appeal dates coming up? If the government shut down, are they going to court? Are the clerks working? Are the judges working? All of them fall under the government.
And it's kind of funny you mentioned the fact, because the government did ask for an extension on R. Kelly's appealing.
They trying to catch that government shutdown.
the government
that's why they
government
have
has
no
requested an appeal in regards to
Oh yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, ain't that interesting, J. Rock? What's your thoughts on that? And I heard that man the other day. I was like, what? Y'all need to stop this foolishness.
It's stalled.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. It ain't got...
They trying to kill time.
Oh my goodness.
Because see, because they know that the information that Bonjean had and she's gathering, they can't stand up to it.
Woo! They weren't banking on this, boy. They like, woo, man.
They can't stand, and since they can't stand up to it, they're gonna resort to stall tactics.
Yeah.
If you want to go, I don't know if you want to go ahead and use this as an example, but just like what the GM of the Portland Trailblazers did in regards to the Miami Heat. By the way, I can say this, Joe Cronin ain't shit.
They say he colluded, man.
He did. Let me tell you, I know this kind of veering a little bit off the subject, but I'm gonna say it like this. From what I understand, with Chris Hayes, who reported, who's really close to Dame was Dame was like, look, if I can't get a trade right now, I'll try to come back to Portland, at least for a little while, and then we just go ahead and just still we can work everything out, but I'll still come on back. The GM didn't want him to come back. He said he almost said he pretty much said, I'm paraphrasing, pretty much said you burn your bridge, so you can't come back. So then on top of it, so you just gonna, the way he treated him, and then when they met, when they had a meeting at Dame's home, that was somewhat hostile, volatile between the two. So then you go forward. Cronin did everything, so it didn't matter what the Miami Heat offered him. He wasn't going to trade on the Miami, period, because Cronin was being hateful and spiteful, and his ego was in the damn way. Just like some of all these politicians out here right now doing this shit in regards to R. Kelly, they ego in the damn way.
It's the same thing, J-Rock.
They ego in the damn way. Yeah. They trying to use this as their own personal come up on the back of R. Kelly and Bill Cosby.
How do people sleep at night like that, J-Rock? What do you teach your children, man? How do you? Wow, that's just.
And I say it again. When you're a vampire, you don't sleep at night.
Real talk.
You don't.
Real talk. Hey, you know what, J-Rock? You just triggered my thought, J-Rock. Cicely Tyson, Larry Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne, and what's the guy that played the father to Wesley Snipes, and the guy that played in a Fire Heartbeat in the movie Sugar Hill?
I think Clarence Williams III.
Yeah. Him. Remember, he went from the other side and was joining, I guess, Cicely Tyson. Yeah. Cicely Tyson's side, remember? And I think it was a scene where they was in the hallway when they was talking. I don't know, he was finna join that side, or he was giving some information from the other side that he was part of or whatever. And him and Lawrence was in the scene, and he said, if I remember correctly, J-Rock.
Oh, you talking about Hoodlum?
Yes. And so Lawrence Fishburne said, man, how do you sleep at night? And Clarence looked at Lawrence Fishburne and said, how do you know I sleep at all? Nephew, that's why I watch movies from. That's why I keep myself fortified. I listen to the dialect and see how can I incorporate it. Now I know that's going like into lab doing some scientific type stuff, but that's how my brain works. Nephew, J-Rock, man, that scene right when you said that, J-Rock, I said, oh, that just reminded me of that. When you said the vampire, I'm like, that's what it is, man.
Yeah, because
Uncle Muse, say it ain't so, Valley. When he was in the ice cream shop. Say it ain't so, Valley. Who told you to put? Who told you to put rat poison on my ice cream? Oh my God.
What did Lawrence
Yep.
Fisher tell him in the club? He said, "And it's curtains, Dutch. Jig is up."
Right. Right.
Jig is up. Jig is
Yep.
up.
And that's what's happening. Nephew Rod is up. Them jokers running like roaches with the light. Come on, boy. I ain't never seen no people backpedal, change their stories, man. Woo! The smoke, boy. The smoke.
You see him?
And don't forget about Whispers.
You see him? I
Oh,
never
man,
gave a
Whispers.
fuck about him anyway. For all I know, he had my best friend Angel set up and kill him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You went to Scarface.
Yes, sir. Yes, you did. Yeah, yeah. Hey, it's a lot of scenes in that movie, man. But my scene I keep going back to, I did this the other day. That restaurant scene. Woo, man.
That restaurant scene is what caused him to kill Manny.
Yeah.
Manny is the type of friend you don't need. Manny was a good friend, but
Right.
Manny was also a bad friend because when he needed to be there,
Yeah.
he just dropped the ball too many times.
I think the moment that really took him out was the fact when he was in New York and he called back and Manny wasn't at the house.
Right.
I think that was the moment that really did it. Because he's about what he was like, what you mean he ain't there?
Yeah.
I left him in fucking charge.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, y'all need to pull up the interview that Al Pacino did walking through the dynamics of the movie scenes and how he got into the role and stuff. Man, it will blow your mind, man. Woo, it blow your mind, man. That restaurant scene, man. What I like about it, he said, you meet people like you. And I'm like, man, think about that. So you can point to and say, that's the bad guy. He said,
Hey,
so
y'all
what that
forgot
make you?
one.
What that
Y'all
make you?
forgot one. We forgot one person.
What's that? Who that?
Don't forget about Denzel, baby.
Oh,
This is $3,000 out patent. You got that shit.
Alpaca.
This is $3,000 out patent. The way he slammed that piano on his brother. That was his brother, right? His cousin, brother, hands. Oh my God.
Frank Lucas.
Yeah, on Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
I got another one for you.
I still would have turned in that $1 million. Go ahead, J. Rock. I had to slip that in. I'm not turning in that $1 million. I'm putting the hood on, nigga.
Think about that meal. You still think about that meal?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm trying to put the hood on. Fuck the hood, man. Fuck Chicago. Fuck the hood.
Throwing out $1 bills everywhere.
Right. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not passing out 120s at the club. What do you mean? No, y'all bitches getting $1 bills.
Hey, look, now you said that. I know we kind of went away from the subject, but we just talking right now.
We just talking.
Well, I just listened to Chad Johnson and Shannon Sharp the other night, and Chad Johnson said he tip $1,000 every time he go to a restaurant. You know,
I need to work at that restaurant.
Shannon Sharp say, "Well, Ocho, are you out your goddamn mind?" Shannon Sharp say he'll tip $20, you know, $100 depending on the. He said, "I tip you based off your service."
Right.
You know?
So you go in there and go buy you a turkey salad, and then you still gonna tip a nigga $1,000? Yeah, okay.
Ocho say
if he tipped $1,000, he ain't in no restaurant that served that now.
Ocho say he tipped the waitress because they struggling. You know, he said they struggling.
Yeah, okay.
But Ocho got mad at Shannon Sharp because Shannon Sharp say he fly private. He said it cost him anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 to fly private from where he at to California, wherever. So Ocho say, I fly to work every day. It only costs me $80. I fly Spirit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You save a lot.
So what we
save,
really have here
you save a lot of money.
is perspectives, man.
Right. He live off 30% of his income. He don't live off 100% of his income. That's what I hear.
Hey,
That's what
it's
I'm.
a right. You know what? It's a. You know what? For them rich people though, it some of it be a write off for them. You know what I mean?
Anybody though. That's for anybody. That is a principle. Unfortunately, real talk, that was not taught in our community. Now, mind you, black during the Black Liberation Movement, in the beginning, those were the things we sought out, and that's what we were trying to do for our community. That's the stuff, and I yield back to nephew to get back on point.
Yeah,
That's
Black
the whole
Panther
concept
days.
of what Tupac was all about.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what
Let's get back on.
that's what he was always trying to do because of how he was bred, how he was raised, and even the success he's had. He felt sort of guilty about his success. Pac had flop houses, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff that he had that he was involved in that you would never know about. And it's not for everybody to know about. When you're doing something from the core of your heart because you believe you have been blessed and given this wonderful opportunity, you can't save the world, but what you can do is spark the brain. So when I was talking about the Juice movie on the set, when he would stop occasionally and do that, nephew always pointed out better than I could ever say it. He sparked those children of that parent mind. You don't even know how that impacted that child and probably how successful they are today. And those who looked around, that would look kids standing back with their parents watching the set and all that kind of stuff. That was the core of what he was about. That's why it made sense when Mr. Kelly said, "Oh, my original concept for the best of both worlds was Tupac Shakur." But unfortunately, happened in again. But it made sense when I said it years ago. Pac was the Kales in the rap game. Kales was the Pac in the R&B.
I wonder how that would have sounded.
And see, it's funny I should bring that up because I was actually going to go right into that point because I'm also starting to believe that when Pac was murdered at that point, I'm really starting to believe that whoever was also involved did not want that project to come about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because we are talking about
mm-hmm.
Pac, who was already at his apex in his career. R. Kelly was climbing his number one with a bullet as far as his as far as how fast he was climbing. So when both of them come together, and if the best of both worlds with Pac and Kels came together, it would also start to kill the whole East Coast West Coast beat because R. Kelly had already worked with Biggie on multiple occasions. So if there's this big of a project, there's no way you can tell me that Biggie would not be on it because Biggie would be on it.
And because Kels was he was a peaceful brother.
And then then all of a sudden you would have but Dr. Dre probably would have tried to sneak in on this project. The next thing you know, you got one big hip hop's at R&B. DJ Quick probably would have been on that bad boy.
Quick, man, yes sir.
They all you would have had one big hellified hip hop / R&B project.
Man, you got to go to that Better Days album of Tupac double album, the Better Days. Man, DJ Quick on there, and DJ Quick say J Rock. He said, "Pop, so far I've been listening to the song, man, but I ain't heard nothing I can sit back and smoke a beatie to." And then that beat come in. Woo, man, people sleep on that Better Days album. You got Anthony Hamilton on one of the tracks, man. Man, please, boy. That Better Days album was off the chain.
DJ Quick has been and always has been highly underrated.
Yeah, and I agree. I concur 1,000% on that. Yeah, 1,000% on that.
Sometimes we forget that Pac, we all love Pac. Pac was a living legend. He is the GOAT. I admit that. I ain't gonna lie. Next to LL Cool J, he is the GOAT. Some people might not agree with me on that, but hey, Pac is the man. He was a poet. He stood for our rights. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that just because of the way he rapped, because of the beats he had, or the tracks and stuff he said, or that he played or whatever, that he was a gangster, but he was not a gangster. He
No,
was
he was
not a gangster.
no, he
He
was
was
a
a
military.
revolutionary for real.
Right, right, right.
And it
And
wasn't. I mean, you got to be a
Pac
real
was about to
powerful.
get ready to be appointed.
Yeah,
yeah,
you see what I'm saying? You got to be a real important, real threat to you know what I'm saying, to the politicians or whatever. You got to be a real threat of something in order
mm,
for the government to feel like they want to take you out. We're not even talking about the hood, because who in the hood wanted to kill Pac?
right,
Let's get
right.
that understood. So how in the world is it that somebody would want to would actually pull a gun out and kill Pac? You feel me? Without getting paid any money,
Let me tell you. Let me tell you
it's not happening.
Let me jump off. Let me tag team you on that one. Did you not know that based on what you just stated that Treach by Naughty by Nature, MC Hammer, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, a couple of other ones, but those major individuals, what's the common thread that they had during their hiatus during that period?
You
Pac,
said MC
oh,
Hammer,
yeah, MC Hammer,
Snoop, they always death row. They
Treach,
always related to death row.
Snoop Dogg. Nope. Here's the thing. This was Pac. This was Pac process of thought. This is the reason why he sat down with my
And they
friend
all wanted to leave.
Matula Shakur, shout out to Geronimo Pratt, and they helped Pac understand the true definition of thug and thuggery, its
Mm.
roots, ancestry, where it really came from, and what Pac got to understand what that was all about and the roots of it, because he used that phrase a lot. And respect number two, like he did, was like, and Pac said, "Well, I get your point, I understand it, but no, I ain't saying that." And then Matudu said, "Well, you need to redefine that then. I know that's not what you mean. So you trying to go out here and rob some old lady and stick up?" You said, "Nah, man, that ain't, blue, blue, I ain't talking about none of that." He said, "Well, then you need to redefine it, Pac." So I
Yeah,
even
but
had a
the
book,
public
and
made it
Pac,
though.
they came out with the thug code, the
So
proper
like
order,
so,
how you hustle and you do proper things and stuff you don't do. You know what I'm saying? So here's Pac's thought process. So Pac came up with the acronym Thug Life.
thug
The
life.
hate you gave little inference F's everyone. So Pac's thought process was America. America. That you think that we are, that you lie and hide the truth up under the carpet. What I'm going to do is take it from underneath the carpet and present it back to you. America. This is what you have created. Systemic racism, the voices that's not been heard, the true ills and things that we deal with in our community. You have refused to address that.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is present that which you have been hiding back to you. Do you know what kind of insult that is? Especially when they look at you still as three-fourths of a human. So his thing was to gravitate those supporters, because I don't like to use the word fan, because we get the word fan from the word fanatic.
Dramatic, right.
And anyone wrong or doing something, you know what I mean, you support that and defend that. I'm not with that. So I'm a supporter and I'm in agreement with those who are walking for righteousness and justice and always trying to be the best version of them and making the corrections as they see fit for their bad choices, or you follow what I'm saying? So Pac was trying to gain a political alliance. And they asked him one time, where do you see yourself the next 5 to 10? He said, God living, me having breath, sitting across the table with other candidates. Do you know what kind of, so we talk about all this other stuff people talk about, but those who are in high positions were listening and paying attention. Don't tell me they wasn't. It's evidence that they was. So, oh, you talking about a revolution. You talking about an awakening. And then he got appointed during this process as new African Panther chairman. Also, really, now you really got those who in a high political position. You really got their attention. Your name alone is enough. And now they see, and then they hear the difference between what you're talking about and what others talking about. Now you trying to gravitate, and now you got even individuals that had major authority in the street that was also in penitentiary across the globe in major cities, had a sit down with this dude and was in agreement with that and wanted him to be the spokesman and the leader for that. Pac said it was like standing in the road like a deer with headlights. You know what I mean? I struggle for what the words to say. He said, I ain't even got my plan even figured out. And I got people already ready to. It was a lot. Can you imagine his psyche during that time? And looking at those who are in political arenas in position to make laws, man. Oh, I said, oh no. Infiltrate his inner circle. Infiltrate his inner circle. Find out his weak point and get in. Same thing they did to Malcolm X. Same thing they did to Martin Luther King. Johnny Hathaway was talking about it for years before his demise, and people thought he was crazy. You see the same thing. Sam Cooke had the mob come to him and offer him something that he could not refuse. Etta James talked about it in her autobiography. You see the common thread? Prince fought Warner Brothers for years before he got his publishing. And what happened? Mysteriously. Come on, man.
Yeah, but that music.
We're going to wake up.
Yeah, but that music made Pac go a different route sometimes, because he was too, because, Pac being the man who he was, he wanted to please the people. He wanted to make everybody happy. He wanted everybody to get along.
I disagree. I disagree. Pac was talking about.
You don't think so? Well, he never wanted to be a gangster. He really never had no point to prove, but he wanted to prove it.
It wasn't that. Pac was told to shut up.
Yeah, he was.
To stop talking about that.
Yeah, he was told to shut up, but he never did.
Stop talking about that. You got to hear what I'm saying, my brother. He was told to shut up and stop talking about what he was talking about. So when that Quad Studios incident, that was for Pac to shut up and calm down and not go the militant route he was trying to do. Pac was going to be through with music, bro. Pac was done with music, bro.
Yeah, but what would you do if you went to the studio and got shot?
But what Pac was trying to do is use his gift and the talent but he started off with the music, but his passion always really was the movie. He wanted to produce, movies, write for all of that. Look at the hit that our community has taken when we have gotten so close to getting those particular arenas. And the ones that we do, the few that I can name, one particular name I can name, that person pretty much compromised and owned something else, allegedly. And wound up playing a part in blacklisting one of our sister comedians. I hear back.
But what would you have did? Let me ask you this, Mew. But what would you did if you was going somewhere and you feel me? You was going to go meet your boys. Okay, you at the studio. You going to meet your boys at the studio. You feel me? And something happened at the, like I put in the chat. It wasn't no real security there or nothing. Like no real. I'm talking about real security that don't have nothing to really so much as really care for or do as the label or whatever. That was a building. That looked like a high rise building that, like we would go into downtown Chicago type shit. You know what I mean? Like what
Right.
would you have did if you going to see your boy, you going to see Big Vi, and then he tell you, hey, yo, come to the studio, this and that and the third. It's and then all of a sudden you get stuck up, you get shot 5 times down there, and whatever. How would you feel? Would you feel like would you feel like that set you up?
I
Or
think
would you
that
feel like
part
you
of
would have had
it,
something to do with it or anything? Go ahead.
I think the part of it what made Pac look at it as if it was a setup was the play by Diddy. When they put that song out, "Who Shot You," that's when Pac looked at it as if it was a setup. He didn't believe that Biggie had nothing to do with it initially. But when you put that song out right after I get shot, and I'm listening to it, hold on. Now I'm questioning because they were friends, they were close friends. The only reason why Pac was moving the way he was moving because he trusted Big.
Right.
And you got to remember, I don't know if you recall, but around that time when Pac wound up getting locked up, that's why the company that you keep, I can't say that enough, man. The company that you keep, man, it can just be your downfall, man. In other words, man, that's people, man, even in your own family, man, that's people you got to guard your heart with, man. You got to move a certain way, dude. Not everybody should be privy to your close inner circle. Where you label them my closest road dog.
Especially when you got sucker like Haitian Jack in the middle of it.
So people will tell Pac stuff in prison in his ear. See, and you got to understand, you still in the progression to be a man when you never saw your actual father and really in the home. You get other male figures like Pop had, between all of that. But when at that age when you don't have that right there, at the pivotal point of 10, 11 years old, where it's critical for a father to be, especially in the boy's life, when you have the absence of that, and you have to fend for yourself, and you thrown in the streets, meaning you have to make it happen because your mom is going through something, and you got to understand what I said. The streets are pretty much built on rebellious, do what I want to do without any boundaries. Then you come from a lineage that were well versed and read and study and activist for a cause and a principle. Then you got a gifting in you that is innately put in your DNA. So when you got all of that together, the sum total of what I come to phrase Pac was an educated nut in a good sense, without any boundaries. You know what I mean?
Did you look at?
Go ahead, nephew.
I was just finna say, and one thing people also need to understand, what could have made Pac a target as well, man. He was not only just an artist. This man had his own record label. His first ever album was released under his own record label.
Right.
So now people only know Pac from Death Row. So that's just more motive to say, well, then what did Death Row had to gain from Pac not being here? Because Pac had a way greater mission than what he accomplished, because he had his own label before he went to prison.
Yeah.
So that right there, now with Death Row coming in, understanding, then it was a 3-way deal. He was signed to himself. Then he had Interscope, and then he had Death Row.
Right.
So he gave Death Row them 3 albums. The first year he came out, Death Row owed him like $2.53 million.
Yep. Somewhere in the neighborhood. Yep.
You see what I'm saying? He
out of that obligation. You trying to clear that up.
He tried to clear that up so he could move
Yep.
on
Yep.
and work on building his own, the outlaws and different people like that.
Yep.
So it's just so much shit when you break it down, when you really think about it. And Pop, they understood, the greatness of who he was. For him to have a record label, do you know how many artists would have loved to have went signed to Tupac?
Yep.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have been
absolutely.
a fucking question, man. I'm going to sign with Pop.
Wait.
I'm
Yeah.
signing with Pop.
And then on top of that, if you really look into it, I think Pac really fulfilled his obligation with Death Row with just that one record on All Eyes on Me, because All Eyes
Wait.
on Me went 9 times platinum.
But
Hell
then
yeah.
too,
J Rock.
it's all depending on what the label accepts, though.
They
Yeah,
want
and
That's
one
J Rock.
album.
I think you
Right,
could
I know.
attest to this though.
I know it, but in regards to that, but when you got an album that go 9 times damn near diamond status,
yeah, that was unheard of.
that's exceeding anything that the label
Yeah.
at that point would have believed.
And that was the first hip hop double album, right, J Rock?
Yeah, All Eyes on Me was double. It was a double album.
That
No,
anybody did.
that was the first hip hop rap album ever
Ever
done.
album that anybody did. Wait a minute, and then I think J Rock, I think you could contest to this too. The same. Remember, Suge Knight only paid him like $8,000 to do Above the Rim, the movie. Some bullshit. That's like the same thing what Barry Hankerson did to R. Kelly. When R. Kelly wanted to go, when R. Kelly wanted to leave, stop messing with what was it? Black
with
they was
Barry.
with Black Brown and
With
Barry them. When he
But
wanted to leave
Blackground
them
Records was initially supposed to be
supposed
R.
to be
Kelly's
his.
record label.
yeah, it was supposed to be. But then when R. Kelly wanted to leave and go to Jive Records, he backballed him and did the same damn thing that you were just speaking about the other night about the two songs that was played on the Minister Society soundtrack, but you don't see them.
Right,
You don't
because
see them. You don't
yeah,
see them on the actual
They not on the
soundtrack.
sound. They not on the track list.
Exactly.
right. They're not on the track because those songs already came out on R. Kelly's first album at that point.
Yeah, but he still effed him.
Right.
Barry
yeah, he did
effed
that.
him.
Ain't no
If
dispute.
Because
let me say this, J Rock,
he should get royalties from Menace to Society, man, for Honey Love and Slow Dance.
yeah, and let me say this too, J Rock. I think y'all can contest to this, and if you think about it, mark my word, if it wasn't for Kales, Jive Records would have never been nothing because they would have never knew how to recognize talent.
Facts.
Well, he wrote the music for them.
You know what I'm saying? All the way from back when even before Mary J. Blige came out. You understand? He had, Kales was the one that recognized, but they tried to use him to recognize the talent. You understand? And say, yeah, put him like basically like how we are doing the background and point fingers and say, yeah, they got talent. Yeah, the person got talent. That group got talent.
The only other big names under Jive
DJ say Dedicated was played in Menace to Society too. I gotta go back and watch it because
I gotta go back and check that out too.
You say who that?
I know Honey Love was on the scene when they was in the bed.
Yeah, and then
said Slow Dance was playing.
Slow Dance
was in there.
Remember they was in the house when they was playing dominoes?
That's the two songs that was in there, right? Slow Dance and Honey Love, bro.
Yeah.
I just said that, but EJ said,
"Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
so I gotta go back and watch it, man, because
So, and the man told him that this is his first hit record. Woo Wapty Bands, this and that and the other. Let me tell you this too, Vi. I remember when Kales did the Summer Bunnies video. I think I told you this the first time I came on your panel or something. I remember when Kales did the Summer Bunnies video down there at the park, down at the park where he was at the basketball rims and shit. And I want to say that's King Drive. I want to say
18.
I'm at 18. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying, he had the let me say he had the moles out there doing security and all, you know what I mean? Yeah. He actually, bro, that was true. That was facts, bro. He was not able. Listen, he was not able to. They weren't even gonna let him shoot the video at first. Okay, they was not gonna let him shoot the video until he talked to Trash Mo. If he didn't talk to Trash and pay Trash 10, what was it, 10, 15, 20,000 or whatever, if he didn't talk to that man who was over the moles you understand me, back then, who was over the moles and shit back then he was not gonna be able to shoot that video because they was
But
threatening him to come and
that's
shoot
the
the video
biggest
up.
thing that don't. That's another thing that don't get talked about.
Yeah, no, it don't,
As
because
far
they was
as,
gonna shoot that video
as
up.
far as the extortion that the black community
It's
put
straight.
on black artists.
Yes,
Right.
You know,
especially in Chicago, right?
shit, all in California. You hear them talk about it. You hear fucking Bounty Hunter BJ and them talk about it. You hear the dude that talk about Barry Hankerson.
Why you think Kanye don't shoot no videos in Chicago?
What Matula Mar talk about how they was extorting Barry Hankerson. I mean, look,
Right.
but my problem is why are black people why do we extort other black artists, but we don't go over there and make these white people pay for shit?
Because it's when you grow up in the hood.
But it shouldn't
with
matter.
the-
It's your hood.
I know,
no matter who come
but
in.
it's when you grow up. But the problem is, I spoke on this before and told you, the problem is when you grow up and you related to the hood, okay, with the people, especially all I know is Chicago. I can't tell you what go down on in LA and Florida, or I can't tell you what go down in Texas. All I know is about Chicago, okay? I've never been to Texas. I've been to Tennessee, Memphis. But all I can tell you is, and that was just to the cabins. But the only thing I can tell you, but what I'm saying is, you cannot, you can be rich, you can be black and live in Chicago, okay? If you was okay, you what's his name, Charlie Wilson, somewhere, the Gap Band, and all them people, and his mama and them, and all them, or whatever. You could be that. You could be them kind of people living in Chicago. But if you have any connections that got anything to do with the streets, the industry, and all that, or whatever, then you are not gonna be unless you unless you somebody like Don Juan, and I mean, come on,
Mm.
Don Juan respected, bro. He ain't got to worry about nothing. Don Juan travels by himself. In Chicago, they used to have this thing when Don Juan used to come to Chicago, and he hit the West Side on Tuesdays. Everybody would dress up for him. So, which means, even if you don't wear a suit out west, you understand me? You will wear like a tie, a shirt with a tie, pair of jeans, nice steppers, what we call steppers out here. Hard bottom shoes. You would wear nice clothes and you would halfway dress up for the man and pay your homage and pay your respects to the man. Because you know why? Don Juan is the man to the industry that he the man that put Chicago on far as he's the man that put the industry on far as Chicago. Like, you understand?
I understand that aspect of it, but
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is
He knew everybody
why
first.
do our community take pride in extorting people that have made it? Like, if you make it, like you just said, if you found that $1 million, you gone. If I make it out the hood, the objective is to make it out the hood. Why extort me versus coming and bring a plan of action to me saying, hey, we trying to put this community center up right here.
It's not gonna because you know why it's not gonna be like that, because of jealousy, envy, and then when most people when most people in Chicago get on and do something right, they have to do other endeavors. They have to go outside the blocks. They have to go outside Chicago and go make their money.
I see Kanye West had to go to New York to get on.
Exactly. Kanye moved to New York too, right? Okay, so and then it doesn't become a problem until you get the money, you get the real the big paychecks, right? And then you don't come back and you don't build community centers, do this and that and the other and the third. And even when you do come back and you build community centers, restaurants like Michael Jordan or whatever, then you still don't get your props. You're
So
not gonna get.
where did it? Because I be trying to understand where in the contract did it say you have to do this shit?
You don't. No, it doesn't say that in the contract. It's not gonna say that
Because
type of
the
stuff in
hood,
the
I'm gonna tell
contract.
you something that I know for a fact, and I can
Right.
say that just from being on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Your fucking hood, where you grew up from, your community, they don't support you on the come up. They don't
They
fucking
know.
start claiming you until you make it. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
know him. Oh, I went to school
Mm-hmm.
with him. But when you on the rise, when you out here putting in the footwork, grinding, when they see you walking in the rain, they pass by splashing water all on you and shit.
Yeah.
You nobody. But as soon as you make
Yeah,
it, they feel
absolutely
like you
nobody.
owe them something.
And then they say, I remember him. I remember that person. I remember her. And then they go back, and then you know what they'll do? They'll ask you for some bullshit, $500 just on bullshit, just to ask you to see if you'll give it to them. They try to test the waters and everything. Ain't no, it's a
Like they
bunch of
say, the
mess,
man
man. It's
Rob
different, man. I
paying
don't
for
know why.
funerals,
It's just different in Chicago, man. I don't know
buying
why.
houses, paying for funerals, buying houses.
Yes.
I mean, the man that gave away more music, he done gave away more hit records than he didn't put out.
But he shouldn't have bought none of that stuff. He should have been investing in the right damn lawyer.
Well, he didn't have good lawyers. But what I tell people this time
He
around,
had good lawyers, but he ain't had the right damn
he
lawyer.
could have had the right lawyer this time around. None of that shit was gonna change
Right.
the
Well,
outcome of what we saw. Do you understand that the judges, you got the judges against you, the prosecutors, you got the workers against you, you got these accusers against you, you got the motherfuckers who you looked at and you thought was your best friends against you. Do you
Right.
think the right goddamn lawyer or whatever was gonna help you?
Right.
Everything that could possibly be against a person when you talk about a court case was against this
Right.
brother. It's
Right.
going. It had to happen the way that it happened, so that it can play out the way that it's
The
going
way
to
it's
play
gonna
out.
play out. Right. Everybody that's on the law side or political side that's gonna say, listen, it's time for you to go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
It was an agenda. It was an agenda. It was agenda driven. They had to secure a conviction.
Right.
They say it all
Right.
the time when we talk about the man catalog and everything. Man, the man, right? All this shit happened at the 30-year mark the 30-year mark of your music. And everybody know you only have a certain window from that 30th anniversary for you to inquire about getting your masters back. And if you miss that window, guess what? Where your music go to? Back to the labels. So all of this shit is deeper than what the eye may see. Man, R. Kelly, God is going to show up, and God is going to show
out
his favor, and he's going to expose these crooked people. Anytime when that judge sat up, not the prosecutors, when the judge sat up there and said, when the judge changed that language in those charges, when they said you got to find Mr. Kelly guilty on tape 1 and tape 2 and tape 3 and tape 4, and then the judge went back once the prosecutors realized that they wasn't going to be able to do that. The prosecutor need help. So they look at the judge for help. And what the judge do? He changed and to or. So now instead of having to find him guilty on all 4 tapes, all you need to do is see him on 1 tape. But what did Darren McDavid say? One of the tapes that they got back from Chuck was of Lisa Van Allen, Drea Lee, and R. Kelly. So that's one of the tapes that they had. So guess what? Now they got 1 tape that show R. Kelly on it, and they just gonna say, "Oh, he guilty on all of them."
And then you got to look at it too from a politician's point of view and from the law. You got to say, okay, if you heard that a person was in your neighborhood and they was a legend going around and they was picking up young girls, or they was allegedly going around shooting and killing people, right? Then the law got to look into it. The law
But you
got to
got, but
investigate.
see, we got a pause there too. Because when you got the state's attorney Kim Fox coming out saying there was no prior investigation going on up until the docu-series came out, then who was going saying that somebody was picking up young girls?
And I don't see how they wasn't investigating him federally
They weren't
when
even
they been
investigating him on the state
what I'm
level.
saying is I don't see right, but I don't see how they wasn't when they really was. They was watching this man federally from the day since he began doing music back in 88 and 89, 88, 87, whatever, when he was with the group, when he was with whatever the group,
Okay,
when he
Jim.
was with them.
Yeah.
Public announcement. They've been because you know why?
He had a group before that. He was in a group before that
Public
though.
announcement because
But I'm talking
you had
about
Demetrius and you had Barry Hankerson already, and then I hate to say it, but you had his own brother throwing
But
him under the bus.
we don't even speak on the family dynamic.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I stay away from that. I
okay.
stay
Yeah.
But you
away
had a
from
lot of
that.
people. Let's say it like this: you had a lot of people that was
Trey
throwing him under
says
the bus.
MGM was the first group he was with.
Yeah,
MGM.
and then he had public announcement. But you had a lot of people that was throwing him under the bus allegedly because he wasn't paying them allegedly and from the get-go. And then on top of that, they spread the rumors in the beginning.
Well, I played the
In
video yesterday.
yes,
Answer me this. I
go ahead.
want you to answer me this.
Go ahead.
How am I gonna pay you if you came out and say and told the world Robert got his what did he say? Robert got a stipend. If Kels is getting a stipend, how the fuck is it's mandatory that he pay you?
Yeah, he pay you a
If
stipend.
he's getting paid from
Right.
somebody.
That's
So
like the company.
how did your problem become with R. Kelly versus your problem being with the goddamn manager at the time, which was Barry Hankerson? Why were you scared to go at Barry, but you felt comfortable going at R. Kelly? Because you had already intimidated R. Kelly with all your fucking tactics because you're a fucking criminal.
Yeah, but you know what the problem was? You know what the problem was right there? Because when I ain't gonna say no names, but when he was doing music, doing the rap music and everything, right? Of course, who you think he was getting all his music from, his beats and everything, okay? And even Kels went to go perform a couple of shows with him, and did some songs every now and again with him on stage, and they performed that shit, but it never blew up.
It wasn't.
It never blew.
Those songs because it wasn't meant for that shit to happen.
It wasn't. It never blew up. Those raps, those songs never blew up. R. Kelly, pardon the body. R. Kelly. R. Kelly. He said, okay, he had to step back. Let me get back into my R&B. You feel me? I put time into my own people. Okay, and then let me get back into my R&B. Get back into the R&B. That's what blew up. He didn't want to go straight R&B route, and he wanted to mix it up, do gospel, R&B, rap, whatever, which he ended up successfully doing anyway. But it just didn't happen the way him wanted to happen. See, if it would have happened that way, whereas let's say Kanye would have paid more attention to Memphis Bleak albums more than he would have paid attention to Jay-Z albums, right? Do you think it still would have been a Rockefeller, my nigga? Hell no. Because Jay-Z all about himself. He's arrogant. And Bleak could have blew up. Bleak was the man. Bleak had all the hit songs. He had more hit songs than Jay-Z back in them days. Think about it. Around here, all them songs, They was more popping than Jay-Z shit. To be honest. And it was hard.
But the whole I can't at this point after watching it is just not to take no credit from after watching the Kanye West documentary, man. Kanye West made
Yeah, the
Rockefeller.
3-part documentary. Oh my God.
Kanye West built Rockefeller. He made Rockefeller who they were.
Well, Vi, what he did was what he did
I didn't
was
know dude was really putting in work like that, man.
yeah, what he did was okay, my guy. I thought I told you this, but my guy, his name was Payroll. Rest in peace. Payroll is the one that rapped on those songs, those first 5 songs that Kanye West sold to Jay-Z. Okay, you're talking about Benny Siegel's song "The Truth." I just named Bleak around here. Jigga what? Jigga who? It was 2 more.
Change.
Huh?
Never
change for
man. Kanye had verses like Kels do. Kels make songs. He record over these songs before he give when he give people these songs.
He
they
sold
already
those
made.
songs to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z Jay-Z redid all those songs except one. Never changed.
Let me say this. Let me say this for a minute. Hold up, brother D. Let me say this for a minute. This Uncle Muse, this Big Vi's uncle. When the host is speaking, or anybody on the panel, I have a heart and a passion for the chat.
Okay, go ahead.
They struggle to hear the completion of what each individual is saying. Especially, we should never interrupt the host. Ever. It's not even a debate. Ever. It's not, and this is not no being mean. We just got to be conscious of everybody got something to bring to the table. Everybody got a deep passion. Let's be mindful that each individual has a certain amount of time. We're going to say our point and let us yield back, even if you have to use the first time. Let me yield back. Especially, never are we to disrespect or interrupt the host. I need to put that disclaimer in there as the sergeant of arms over here, and uncle for my nephew Vi, and also I have a heart and a deep heart passion for the chat family, and I yield back.
Yeah, chat. The chat gonna let you know. They gonna be the first to hold up. I'm trying to see what Vi's saying, man, because we all got a little bit to bring to the cookout. So we want to make sure it's all being heard. But I know Jeff, he in the music scene. That's why I can't wait to get up to the Shy. Jeff, I made some phone calls. I talked to I talked to Derek, man. We gonna make some shit happen, bro.
Oh, yeah, you already know. Whenever y'all ready to make the move, it's open door policy.
Yeah, man. But watching that Kanye West documentary to see what that brother went through, I understand Kanye West on a whole different level after watching that documentary. Like, my respect for dude, I would put him next to Kels, man. The artistry go, as far as artistry go, dude's a fucking genius, man.
Absolutely. Well, DV definitely had a good conversation about a legend that's no longer here, underground legend Payroll. And it was kind of messed up what happened in that situation. Business is business, so I don't want to go off into the dynamics of that. But it was a huge to-do in the city here when that situation went down, and the discrepancy over business with the beats that were
That's where the problem started. That's all I was wanting to say. I mean, I'm not debating with nobody, but I'm just saying that's where the problem started. Right there.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah. Like
I know you
my
from the shop, bro. I know you know, baby.
yeah, my homie that I do the podcast with, him and Payroll were very tight.
Yeah.
Kingpin. So yeah, man. It was one of those things that, this business is so tricky, man. But shout out to Payroll, rest in paradise. Shout out to Kanye
Rest in
West.
peace, Payroll.
Just to be
If it
shout
wasn't for
out to
Dame finding Kanye, I don't know if Jay-Z will be where he at right now. I'm be honest.
Man, to go to here, I mean, dude was like a high commodity, like he was a high
only
commodity
messing
like
with Jay
Kale, bro. I mean, they was reaching out to Kanye for beats like Kale. His producing was so big that they never took him serious as an artist.
Yeah, but he only messed with Just Blaze and DJ Clue and
he was fucking with DMX now. He was fucking with Scarface now.
I just said he was messing with Swiss Beats, DJ Clue. He was messing with them kind of producers though.
But I did question myself when he said nobody ever made it from the Shy, and nigga was like, shit, nigga, R. Kelly made it, nigga. What the fuck you talking about?
Of course.
And he was like, well, R. Kelly R&B, but nigga, R. Kelly made it, nigga, from the Shy.
Yeah, and he made everything. He made gospel, rap, everything, R&B, whatever. Shit, country probably. Stuff we ain't even.
But they put that dark cloud around R. Kelly early in his career to keep people from going to him. But still, people was going to him. But do you know if the controversy never came surrounding that brother's name, how much greater R. Kelly would have been? Just imagine how much greater R. Kelly would have been without the controversy, man.
What would the music industry be without R. Kelly? We'll be stuck on the Bobby Brown and the Bobby Brown era.
Jack Swing.
You know what I'm talking about? That's all I'm saying. Like what do Teddy Riley days? What?
Teddy Riley was a bad boy too, man. I didn't know that.
Mother, you know what?
I didn't know that until the Versus battle came out, and then I started looking into the catalog. That nigga Teddy Riley, the reason why Keith Sweat even have a career.
Right. What would we be stuck on though? What would we be on? Tank era? I mean, those are ballads.
Well, Tank only exists because of R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. I swear. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to size nobody up here. Y'all all bigger than me. I'm only 5'4". Would you tell him, J Rock? I've told you a million times. I'm only 5'4", my nigga. But for real, what would the music industry be? Let's be honest. Without R. Kelly, it would be a music industry, but just like how we had a music industry from the 90s going back to the sometime in the 80s, maybe on the love ballads. You know what I'm saying? Even once you hit the spurt of BBD, hyping it up. You understand what I'm saying? Those tracks, man, they are not R. Kelly. They is more made on. Some rappers could have rapped to BBD. I mean,
I think the thing with Chicago and the music,
it might be whack,
Chicago
but
had so many comics, coming. There's so many comics come out of Chicago, man. So many great comics come out of Chicago. Then you go to, Chicago was killing in the basketball scene eventually. They was killing in the comedy scene. Then they came out with this dude named R. Kelly, killing it in the music scene. Like, man, Chicago was like a baby Atlanta, man.
Yeah, if you really look at Chicago during that time,
different epidemic.
Yeah, especially during the 90s. Look, you had Michael Jordan, who was the king of basketball. You had Bernie Mac, who was the king of comedy.
Robert Harris
and R. Kelly, the king R&B. All three kings running simultaneously in Chicago at that point.
Chicago was popping, bro.
But what would it have been without R. Kelly? That's a
Let
good.
me say
That's
this.
a good
Let me
question.
say this. Let me bring some content to this thing. I'm a '66 baby. My late father from Mississippi. He was born at 39.
39.
Go 39. So picking cotton at 7 years old.
Mm.
About around 10 years old, all the way up to my old man passed. My old man became a student of music. I need to phrase that way. He was a student of music. He studied music. He played different genres. My old man didn't dabble into the heavy metal and all of that, but he had Fats Dominoes and Elvis Presley, all of that. He was a collector and a student of music, and he sat down and told history and story that connected the music. So we heard the Donny Hathaway, the Stylistics, the Platters, Frankie Lyman, Sam Cooke, Jackie Wilson, you know, all of this era, moving all the way up, got to the Temptations and Michael Jackson, Smokey Robinson, all of that, getting all of that. The things that make Kels unique, and no disrespect to no one in the industry, is that because of Kels' age, because of our age being a year apart, and our parents and our elders from their teenage years coming up. So my old man played music that was in the 40s, music that was in the 50s, music that was in the 60s, music that's in the 70s, the 80s. He passed in 96, so that era. So then you got Kel still living up to the time. So can you imagine those particular decades? So what Kel actually did is, back me up, J Rock, is reinvent from the foundation, from his perspective, and navigated through all of those time frames like a time machine, like he once said, to the point where today we can go listen to the Buffet album. His concept of thought to me was to reach these genres, and that's why Kales have so people that love and gravitate towards music from millennials can go all the way back to my age and even look before me because of the exposure. He's the only artist I can think of off the top of my head that has such a gift. He can go to a Donny Hathaway era, take that concept, go into the lab, and come back and regurgitate that and not disrespect or take any away from Donny Hathaway's era, and yet turn around and present that to a whole different demographic. I don't know very many artists that can do that and even redefine your own self.
Mm.
At the same time, in such a way that Michael Jackson says, the concept of what I'm looking for, you are it. How you just did that song, I wouldn't touch anything. I yield back and let it breathe and pass it to J Rock.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, get it, Jeff.
Oh man, no, that was incredible. How Muse just laid it out, the timeline, and his generation and him and Kill's in the same generation in the history
Yeah.
from the parents that and grandparents been hand down musically and creatively, and what all sums it up. This man had been incarcerated for all this time, and they throw these birthday parties in Chicago every year on his birthday. And you know his birthday is in January 8th to be exact.
They after my
And
daughter.
yes, sir, blessings. So it is Like I'm talking about in January in Chicago, it's like below zero weather.
Yeah.
You got a venue all the way in the south suburbs.
What's up, Sippin'?
Yeah, you got a venue all the way in the south suburbs, and the line is wrapped around the corner to get in this venue. And when you get inside, I mean, people standing out there in the cold, the man in jail, and it's not no small spot. You know what I'm saying? Capacity is at least 1,000 people, 800 to 1,000 people, and it's packed in there. And when you look at the demographic of people, you got 5 different generations of people in there. You got your 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40, 50-year-olds, 60. You got maybe 6 generations to be exact that's in the club enjoying his music. That's almost virtually impossible for one artist to affect and have that variety of people appreciating his music. You know what I'm saying? It's very rare that people can transcend demographics, can transcend social class, can transcend race, age, gender.
The only other people that you can really think about would be Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Prince.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get my point. Now, look at how much that is hated upon. Oh, you can go to the other side of the different cultures. Oh, they can sell out arenas, they can sell out stadiums. But to have those decades of age brackets from an African American that came from the gutter, came from the dirt, never even met and knew who his father was, have literacy problems, and yet literally redefine R&B. That right now, today, they are aching and starving to be infused with him. That so much so the music industry as R&B in this goodness is crippled without this man's presence. His influence alone, they are starving for it.
Exactly.
You should have did something. You should have did something to protect this brother. So now you suffer while he rejuvenates. I go back.
Yeah, that being in itself is a testament, you know, to witness the influence. I mean, this man has written for every genre, artist of every genre, every different, you know, from pop to blues to gospel, you know, to R&B. I mean, only thing I don't know if he did was any rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? But he could do opera. You know, the man has written for everybody. You know, and like I said, to bring it back to those birthday parties that they do every year, just incredible to see the people come out and support and enjoy and celebrate his music. Like he's gonna be. I'm thinking like, man, did Kels get out? He gonna be here? I mean, women in heels walking on literally ice just to get in to celebrate R. Kelly music on his birthday.
And they trying to tear him down, and they owe him. They owe him. He put their careers back online.
Absolutely.
He made their albums. He put their careers online. He made their albums. They came to him and for songs and everything. Like Big Bass said the other day that when have you ever known for R. Kelly to be like a Suge Knight or P. Diddy, Jermaine Dupri, and go out and scout for anybody? He didn't have to. Everybody came to him. We need a song, Kels. We need a beat. We need you to write for us. He didn't go out and have to look for nobody. Everybody came to him. because he was the man. And when you the man, you the man. Am I right, Uncle Mills?
So much so that he already had it together already. What I
Already.
Maxwell, he already had the song done for Maxwell. And
Yeah.
to capture another artist, a colleague that you admire, even respect yourself, like Kel always did and talked about. And when they got the song, some of them they were shocked. A lot of them like, whoa, how do you even do that, bro? You got Michael Jackson said, man, you got me down pat. I'm not gonna change nothing. You know how much a perfectionist Michael Jackson was?
Right.
And funny you should bring that up, because if you really think about it, because it really speaks to the genius that's R. Kelly, for the simple fact, how many songs did Michael Jackson went through and said, like, I don't like this, I want to change this beat here, I don't like this lyric, I think you have add another verse here, and do any kind of little. There has not been any song that Michael Jackson himself has probably had to make changes on. This is the first time I ever heard Michael Jackson ever say, you got me down packed so good, I don't have to change nothing. I'm gonna sing it just like this.
And I want you to join me.
That part, Jeff. That part, JT.
That was DV. And I want you to join me.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the fact of the matter is that the man actually had it down so packed that Michael Jackson, we talk about Michael Jackson, we are talking about the greatest entertainer who ever lived. The man who has literally has sold out concerts in such a degree that fans just falling out. They gotta pull fans up and pass fans over other people because they pass out from exhaustion just to see him. This man said, I don't have to change nothing. The gravity of that lets you know that Kel's genius is on a whole other level.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
God-given talent.
Hold on just a second, guy. Hold on just a second right quick, because I'm out here trying to promote these t-shirts. I'm trying to sell these t-shirts. Get you a t-shirt, man.
CA dropped that booty. Hold 26, I glad it. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. Submit cars, I got it. Metro the gate, I got it. Bust down ice, I got it. Exotic bitch, I got it. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. I'm big pressure. CA dropped that booty.
Good quality.
Shout out to nephew.
Yes,
man,
sir.
That's what's up. Yeah, I got you this week coming up. I'm just coming off that vacation though, JT. So you know how it is. So we.
Yeah, I'm gonna get mine next week too.
Yeah, we trying to recircle and recoup. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got you. I got you.
And that boy looking high right there.
Yes, sir. That's because I won't.
Yeah, I'll rock that on the show. You know what I'm saying?
We ready, man. We ready to hit this show. Like I say, I'm trying to make this shit happen before November. I ain't trying to get caught in the snow, so I'm trying to make it happen before November. I'm
gonna have to order that in black. I don't want the white shirt. I want the black one.
Oh yeah, black go hard. I'm a black. I like to wear black too.
You got any other colors? You got any other colors too, like that blue, like the
That's only white and black right now. I'm in the middle in the process. I'm just getting moved, so I'm trying to widen the inventory to where people can pick whatever color combination they want.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A little extra. You want a blue shirt or a red shirt or whatever. You can pick. You want red with gray letters or gray, whatever. But that's just the straight drop version is the black and the white.
I only think the front of it. Do it say anything on the back?
You can put what you want on the back though.
No, we need to add something to the back, baby. Need to add
that'll be a custom order.
Yeah. Okay. These young folks buy.
Yeah. Me, I just rock it like that. I don't be want to put none on the back.
Yeah.
Women. Some women might wear some on the back. Men,
even some of them, they want that stuff on the back. They
don't really want none on the back because it's a jersey or something, but just a t-shirt.
Okay, that's what's up.
I know. I just think about it like me personally. Like, yeah, some on the front is enough. Too much shit on it, nah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want some on the back, then if it's something possible to do, but through the app, you can. Sooner or later, you're gonna be able to say, "Hey, man, I want that big vibe pin, but on the back, I want a verse, a Kels verse on the back of it." Boom. That's something that I'm thinking about bringing. You can order the big vibe pin shirt. Say if
You
you
got
like,
that part covered though, right? If
yeah,
somebody wants them custom on the front or back or whatever.
not yet. Look at my daughter, boy. She calling. She don't play.
I don't get in trouble now.
What's up, Pooh?
Did you tell her your new name is Big Country?
Hello? Hello?
Her name always gonna be Daddy. Much love, much respect to that. Always. But Uncle Muse, you still there?
Yeah, I'm just yelling back when when Lil Queen come on, when she come in and come on.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you.
Yeah, I'd be quiet after that.
Okay. I ain't know if he could hear or not, whatever. That's what's up. I'm going mute for a second then.
No, repeat what you just said.
I said you do lives every day, and sometimes I can't even call you because you're too busy doing mine, and then I barely even get to talk to you. And you're like, "Oh, Kayla, call me back in 30 minutes." And then you said, "Do it again." I call you back, you're like, "Give me 20 more minutes." I call you back in 20 more minutes, you're like, "Give me 20 more minutes." I can't do this anymore.
Uncle Muse, you done got him in trouble, Uncle Muse. That's your fault, Unc.
Yeah. And then you
That's your fault, Unc.
Are you getting no answer? No answer.
Everybody on the live hear you, fool.
You right, fool. I stand behind you, look.
What you say? Tell them. What'd you say, Pooh?
I said, who is the people's names?
You don't need to know all that now. You act like the detective now.
Somebody might be getting a whooping. Like Joe Jackson say, go give me that switch.
You say what?
Go give me that switch, boy.
Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do, Pooh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How old is your daughter, La?
8.
8? That's what's up. I remember when mine was 8. Oh Lord, Heavenly Father in the pistol.
They Doochie getting his hair done.
How old is the oldest one?
My oldest son, he's 14.
Okay. Woo. Man, wait till they get 18 and 19. I ain't gonna rush it on you, but wait till they get 18, 19. Make sure you have your shotgun ready and be gun registered.
But I called you back though. I love you, baby. I'm finna call you back. Guess what? I'm gonna send you some money to go to Five Below. All right, I'm gonna call you back.
Yeah, you said that a couple of days ago.
I said Friday too. Today Friday. All right, Pooh. I'm finna call you right back.
You gonna call me back?
I promise.
You can call me back?
Yes.
All my cheese, you
Bye, man. This girl right here, boy. Oh Lord.
They gotta love that.
They protected of their dad, boy.
Hey.
Best thing in the world, bro. That's the
Man.
best thing in the world.
Best feeling in the world.
Hey.
On Christ, that's the best thing in the world, bro.
She finna request that Five Below money. She ain't finna play.
She probably already getting the cut from that chat.
She don't play. She don't play. She want her own platform. Then I want a YouTube channel. I told her, well, you can get a kid's YouTube channel when you turn 10.
You show her how to run it. How to
these kids know how to do all this stuff, man.
They knew how to do it before we did, didn't they?
Man, this girl know how to do. I don't even know how. I created a TikTok account and I got banned the same day. Like, I don't even know why.
Yes, sir.
Well, so you must have did something wrong. I say, well, I probably should let one of the kids create it then.
Yeah. I'll be having them struggles myself, boy. I'll be like, man, some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, but there's and people like a lot of like people be on this YouTube and people on the other side, and they see us advocating like for advocating for what we advocate about, and they don't think like we got daughters out here. But what we look at with this R. Kelly case is something that we can show our daughters to not be like. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like these young ladies right here. Don't make the decision that these young ladies did. You know what I'm saying? Understand how important it is for you to have your own bag in life. Don't go out to chasing somebody else's bag. Go make your own bag. Bring your own plate to the dinner table. So when you done, you can get up when you get ready.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I talk to my daughter straight up. I don't look. I tell my daughter, I'm gonna teach you how to think like a man. You already a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gotta do that.
Mm-hmm. And even if you do make a mistake in life, don't let it be the mistake that these ladies made, please.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, it's definitely a teachable moment.
Right. Don't let it be the mistake that these women made.
Yeah.
Oh no, you don't want that because a lot of these women out here, a lot of these women out here thotting it up for the amount of $304.99.
Because hey, J Rock, you already know they
FREE,
and they teaching it to the rest of them. J Rock, they teaching it to the rest of them. I mean, I don't know, but I think they teaching it to the kids in school too. Because you got some teachers that's kind of cool with the students. You know what I mean?
Man, I just seen some on the news the other day. A mother went out to the school and confronted a teacher about having sex with her son.
Golly.
Now this is a teacher.
Golly.
I didn't hear about that. This was recently.
This was just recent.
Oh wow.
Golly. Yeah. I tell y'all brothers like this. I worked at a grammar school. The students were from first grade all the way to 8th. And when I tell you that they are fast, and the staff, teachers, or whoever is at the schools are like second parents or whatever, that is a true proven fact. That is true. I mean, how they act at home is not how they're gonna act when they amongst their friends. We gotta do better. We gotta do way better. Because how they act when they're at home, they might be respectful to their parents. Some of them, and they might. But at school, they acting like bad boys and girls. They being fast. The boys is being.
You know why though?
Hard
Because
gangster or whatever. You know.
the teacher is telling them if your mama whoop you when you go home, all you gotta do is come tell us. We're gonna have your mama locked up.
Right.
We're gonna
Yeah,
have your daddy
maybe
locked up.
that may be. You know what? I won't. I'm not against that, right? But you know what? Whole thing in a nutshell is you cannot be cool with kids like that.
No.
I've learned that the hard way because being cool with the little, boys that was on the basketball teams and stuff like that, 7th, 8th grade kids. And I've learned the hard way, like, I was cool with
They'll
them,
try you.
and because they'll try you. And then, I knew one of my students at the school. I can't say no names. I don't even remember the last name. But anyway, she was a student, and she came to school. She had a bag of weed in her pocket, and she thought that the gym teacher was so cool with her. She pulled out the bag of weed out her pocket and showed it to the gym teacher. The gym teacher was a female, and she like, look at this and that and the other. Put it back in her pocket and thought that the gym teacher was gonna laugh because the gym teacher was young, like so, in her, like late 20s or whatever, and and she thought that she wasn't gonna report it, bro. Next thing you know, she reported it. That girl had the police taking her up out of that in handcuffs. I'm not gonna lose my job over you.
Wow.
And everybody else synced it though. What if I didn't say nothing and been cool and was cool with it? Speaking of, from the teacher's point of view, what if I would have been cool with it and didn't say nothing and laughed it off on some stupid stuff, right? And then the next student say, well, she showed such and such a bag of weed and she didn't say nothing and this and that and the other and the third. See, all this stuff sounds amazing to us now. Back then, back in the days, we never thought none of this stuff happened. But bro, I tell you like this. You work at one school, one grammar school, one high school, you'll be like, oh Lord, Jesus. You wouldn't believe it. And then the internet being involved in everything too, you'll be like, oh my God, bro, you just wouldn't believe it. You just wouldn't believe it. The training that some of these kids got, you understand me, and the disciplines that they taught at home, where it starts first. You understand? The parents, as parents, we gotta do better. We gotta stop being cool with our kids like that. Our kids are not our friends. I repeat, our kids are not our friends. They are not our
That's a real
associates.
statement.
That
That's
they
a
are
real
our
statement, but
children.
that's the way that the world, that's the way that they're trying to make the world. And they are trying to take the power out of the parents' hands. You see, I think
Exactly.
J
Fact.
Rock or Jeff One was talking about it yesterday, saying, the kids going to school, and if they feel like they want to say they feel like they want to say, I'm not a boy, I feel like I'm a girl, and they go home and their parents say, no, you a boy. And they go back to school and say, well, my parents say I can't be that. Then they can, they want to go after the parents for telling this child that, hey, you a boy, not a girl. You can't ever be a girl. This shit is crazy, man. But I'm finna get ready to get off here so I can call her back, because she probably finna talk about an hour. I mean, she can
Right.
go,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
But I appreciate y'all sticking around and hanging out with me today, man. We gonna keep an eye on this.
You
Keep an eye
already
on
know.
this developing story with Keefe D. I mean, we all got our assumptions of what we think was about to happen. I did say allegedly. I feel like P. Diddy is the target in this, and it's because of his wealth, man. Just like they targeted Kanye because of his wealth, man. All the
Yeah.
wealthy men at the top of that ladder, it's time for new positioning to take place. So
Mm, mm, yeah. Mm.
be on the lookout.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
That's
It's
what's
time for
up.
new position. Diddy been the gatekeeper for Jay. All these people been the gatekeepers for too long. It's time for new faces. It's time for the next 20, 30 year seat holders to take place. So don't be surprised.
Yeah. I
I
guess they
want to
never.
thank everybody in the chat for coming over. Y'all can do y'all closing.
I'm good. I yield back. I'm good.
Well, the only thing I'll say is this: I'm just waiting. Everybody talking about the new positioning of gatekeepers. How much of the R. Kelly, successful R. Kelly appeal going to affect all of that? Because now, because there's going to be defamation lawsuits that's going to be filed on his behalf by Jennifer. You're going to have all that laid out. It's going to be it's going to be real interesting to see how this turns out. Because
and how is the government, if the government do go and shut down, how is that going to affect the appeal? That's another question.
Oh yeah, that's the other part.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because the government already asked for an extension anyway. Trying to
they got granted.
Yeah, because they know what's on deck. They know what's about to happen.
Mm-hmm. That's why the stall. That's what the stall tactics is for. The stall tactics is to stall out until time. Time works itself out. So
I'll say this. I'll say this last thing for closing for myself, and it's for the chat and it's for the panel. Take this ritual and utilize this in everyday life. If you don't like what you're getting, change what you are doing. Because if you don't change what you're doing, you will keep getting what you got.
Another quick question. I'm wondering if R. Kelly drops that once that defamation lawsuit gets dropped on multiple people, especially Jim Derogatis. Will we finally see Jim Derogatis take the stand if R. Kelly dropped that defamation suit against him?
I don't know.
That's a different convo.
I don't think so.
What's a different combo? I'm just asking.
I don't think he can fit.
I don't even know if we got a time for that.
He greasy. Remember, he can grease. He can slip out of anything.
That motherfucker dodged a bullet, everything, boy. I don't know. This motherfucker better than Jekyll and Hyde right now at dodging this thing.
Yep.
Man, Jeff, man, hit me up, Jeff, man. Sometime later on, bro. We can run it.
Okay, for sure. On my way out, I'm gonna say this. Since this was, dedicated pretty much to Pac, the whole Keefe D situation, rest in power to Pac. I want to go out with a quote that he had said that was on the record that was very, very, very powerful. And it's a testament to his story coming up, as Uncle Muse so eloquently put it, from the mud, from the trenches. If you see the rose grew from the concrete,
man,
with damaged petals, and I can't remember it verbatim, but if you saw a rose grow from the concrete with damaged petals, you wouldn't ask, why are your petals damaged? We would all celebrating this tenacity and will to survive.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and say, wow, how beautiful a rose grew from the concrete.
Out of that?
The resilience that it takes for a rose to grow through concrete.
There you go.
So don't ask me why. Ask me how.
Jeff, I don't think you paraphrased it. I think you said it perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I didn't know. Maybe Pac got
he had that poem in his book too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got that book.
He had a poem in his book called "The Rose That Grew from a Crack in the Concrete." I had that book, man, and boy, man,
I still got it.
Yeah. A piece of blessings, everybody on the panel in the chat. Man, I had a ball chopping up with you fellas once again this Friday evening. I was a little busy at times, and I still wanted to make sure I came in and chop it up because I missed the
Man,
last
I
couple of
salute
times.
you, bro. I take
Yes,
my hat off to you. Y'all brothers that's always coming on, chopping it up. DV coming in. DV will get adjusted. He'll get adjusted, you know. But we want to bring new voices to the platform, new opinions to the platform, you
Right.
know, to make the conversation interesting. You know, so I appreciate DV for coming up, you know, speaking, sharing some of his experience and knowledge about the shy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't from 63rd, he from 64. You know.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? You know what, Vi? I actually I got the book. I actually can't there's a poem right here by Pac called In the Event of My Demise.
Right. Yep.
All right, let us hear it. Let us hear it before we get off of here.
Yeah. It says, in the event of my demise, when my
Woo.
heart can beat no more, I hope I die for a principle or
Yes,
a belief that I have lived for.
Yep.
I will die before my time because I feel the shadow of death.
Yeah.
So much I wanted to accomplish before I reach my death. I have come to grips with the possibility and wiped the last tear from my eyes.
Woo.
I loved all who were positive in the event of my demise.
Woo. KT. Woo, that hit, man.
How do you write something like that, man?
Yes, sir. That part. That
Write
part.
it and then able to look at it and read it back to yourself like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. Shock G. Shout out Jock G family. He said that was his breath. He said Portsmouth was Park's breath. JT, he said that was his breath.
That's what connected him. That's what connected him with Maya Angelou.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they say on the scene of Poetic Justice, when he was going off about Janet wanting him to take the HIV test,
right.
For the kissing scene, say Pac was fucking irate. Say the only person who could calm him down was Maya Angelou.
And he didn't even know who she was at the time. And she didn't even know who he was.
She didn't know him, he didn't know her.
Right. But when he met, she made sure he had his back where no one can see his face. And after she talked to him, the way she talked to him was, man, after that, not only he had the utmost respect that he read, I think they say he wrote like all of her books he read.
Mm-hmm.
Like reread them books, you know what I mean? And then incorporated them in his lyrics and his, ooh, man, that, Woo.
Man, that's
what the community was about, BT.
I wish I could have met Maya Angelou. I wish I could have met, you know, some of these political prisoners, you know, like Muhammad Ali had his relationship with Nelson Mandela. Like, I wish, bro. Just imagine, man, the type of conversation these people was having back then. You know.
JT, you know the person I wish would have lived, that I could have been able to sit down, at least be in the audience to hear him speak, that he always talked about, be water, my friend. Be water, my friend. The late Bruce Lee. Ooh, I didn't realize that brother was deep, man.
And Bruce Lee, you know, his whole culture turned on him when he came over to the United States.
That's my point.
They banned him from going back home because they say he came over here and started teaching.
There you go.
They defense to American people, and they didn't like that.
And you see the correlation with Brother Kelly, Brother Pop. You see that? You see that? You see that?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell people, if you ain't never seen that movie, IP, they call it IP Man or whatever.
IP
Man that's based off Bruce Lee. He was in that movie young. Coming up.
J-Rock, I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's based on Bruce Lee's Wing Chun teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they got a newer one, but the character they got playing him, he was young Bruce Lee, but they got a character playing him, but it's based on the true story of
Right.
his teaching coming up. And, him end up going to take on his own, building his own name up and
Right.
becoming a master of his own,
Right.
Oh, yeah. That was a good movie. And it was so crazy, man. A girl I used to talk to, she put me on the shit. I had never seen it. And I seen it, then I watched 1, 2, 3. So, and he go through the level, he go from all the different masters of fighting. Then he go on to take on a boxer. I didn't really like the Mike Tyson one, but I mean,
Okay.
but yeah, it was good. It was a good storyline, and it shows when he left from over there, came over to this country, and he started making a name for himself and different things. So it was good, man. I really liked it. That.
And see, and another thing about Bruce had a lot of respect for Muhammad Ali too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He said it was a dope movie. Yeah, it was dope. I want to see the R. I can't wait to see the R. Kelly story, man. I hope that he can be alive. I hope that he stay alive to do it and be himself. Play himself in the movie. I can see him having Robert Jr. play his younger self. Get his kids. Take care of his kids. And set them up, because that's gonna hurt. That's gonna kill a lot of people because they don't want this man to be a great father to his children. They don't want him to be an inspiration to other R. Kellys out there. They don't want him to change the landscape of the music that we're hearing. They don't want none of that. But I do hope I live to see R. Kelly documentary as far as his life, not just bullshit that Lifetime put out.
Right.
And he did say he had been recording. He got some fear. He say because he put out a recording, and I seen it during the buffet. And say he had been documenting shit. Over after I guess I don't know how long he been documenting it. But say he had been documenting, recording, and different stuff like that. So who's to know what he may not be? They may be trying to prevent a documentary from coming out.
Right. And I hope that's what in that storage where they got a hold to a lot of his stuff, man. Because you know what I mean.
But that seemed like they were going to hunt for something. It wasn't for no evidence.
No, I ain't gonna believe that in no million years, man. I know better than that, man. I know better than that.
Yeah, we all know it's not about evidence because they keep bringing up the fact about the 100 devices, and you still ain't brought a beeper to court. You talk about the 100 devices.
I'm still waiting to see it. I'm still waiting to see it. They couldn't even find the fourth tape.
My boy say they ain't even brought a beeper to court. Boy, I'm out of here, man. I'm finna get out.
Right. JT, I missed them beepers, man. J-Rock.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yo.
Man, bless. This was good, man. I needed this, man. This what's up, man.
Man, for real.
Nephew, right, bless you, man. I know it took a lot, man, to put together and get together.
Oh yeah, bless man. You. I appreciate it, man. I'm finna get up off of here and call this little girl back, man. And
I'm a little niece, man. Come on, niece back. Man.
She ain't playing today, boy. I wouldn't expect her to go out like that, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and handle that, man. Y'all
to y'all, man. Everybody
in the chat. Have a great weekend. Much love to all y'all.
All right. Everybody in the chat, y'all be good. Y'all be great, man. Peace and blessings, as my boy Jeff say.
Yeah.
We out of here.
Peace.